everybody. Welcome back to Joystick Maverick. It's episode 20. I am Ernie Hawkins, joined as always by Dominic Irvin, and we are your hosts. We're also joined today by the guy in the chair, producer extraordinaire, and getting older with his little gray hairs, Michael Mahaffey.
It's more than a little gray hairs.
It's
More than
very
a little.
nice. It's distinguishing.
You could have lied to the people on the podcast. We're also joined today by special guest, musician, writer, courtesan, composer, content creator, SoopurKul. What's up, Soup?
Hello. Hey, what's going on, y'all? So happy to be here.
Earlier today, I posted in one of your streams, purr, and you read it out loud. P-U-H-R, P-U-H-R, purr. That's the air horn.
Got it. Understood.
That's how I spell it. Well, I'm glad to have everybody back on the show. Man, it's been a really weird week. Personally, I'm happy to be back, happy to be alive. Had a colonoscopy this morning. I'm somehow lighter, yet look bigger.
Don't get how you are as jubilant as you are after having a rectal procedure done.
It was quite, it was very nice. They put me to sleep. I woke up. They said, we wiped you down. And I said, thanks. I appreciate it. You know, just went on my way home. So
that's what my wife said.
Oh man, I'm just happy to be back. How's everybody else doing? How's everybody's week?
I'm glad
also been
Thursday.
a weird couple of weeks. Yeah, right, exactly. Friday
Raise our
Eve.
hands. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Little Friday.
Right.
Little Friday. That's how I get to the work week. Yeah, I call it Little Friday because it's like we're so close.
I'm drinking Chardonnay, so you can tell how this week went.
Yeah. Hey.
Real good. Yeah, was drinking whiskey last night, so you can, by proxy.
Yeah.
Mike, what are you drinking now?
Whiskey.
Ether?
Ooh. Yeah.
Nice.
That's an old thing because you're in a.
No, I get it. Just keep them coming.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Just had a half tank of ether in the back of the trunk.
Looks good.
You're in backcountry. Awesome. Well, guess what, guys? This week, as always, is brought to you by Tough Wraps. If you're feeling kind of fluffy, you want to get in shape, or just want to look good and then pretend you're getting in shape by taking supplements, you can go to toughwraps.com and use code joystick at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. But if you really are trying to work out, you can also use their Tough Daily Training app. Just download $7.99 a month and you get brand new workouts every single day. New workouts every week. It's crazy, just designed for you. They give you videos on how to do the moves and all that kind of crazy stuff, so you don't hurt yourself. Because that's really what always sends me back home after the gym is going too hard or just having bad form or just feeling kind of gross. But that's not my fault. That's not Tough Wrap's fault. That's just me being terrible. But
my friend almost died after he went to the gym 2 weeks ago.
I thought you were going to say after using Tough Wraps products, dude.
No, not at all. Tough Wraps saved his life. Are you kidding me?
Brought him back.
Actually, a representative from Tough Wraps showed up and gave him mouth to mouth. Just slipped him tongue.
And it was
That's
AJ.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, moving right along. This week, we're starting off with the same thing we do every week, the state of gaming. So, Soup, what we do is we kind of go through the little bits of kind of the gaming news and things like that. So if you have any questions or don't know what a certain game is, let us know.
Yeah.
Boom. And no, it did not.
Did we just lose? Or no, there it is.
I'm pretty sure my application froze. 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Banter.
Yeah.
Time to banter.
I've been on the road for 2 weeks straight, so I have no idea what's going on in games right now other than New World coming out, which is all anybody around me talks about.
Everybody's streaming that game.
Yeah. Everybody is waiting in their queue for 3 hours to get in, so it's
yeah, that's what we hear, and it's the first topic. Spoiler: it's the first topic.
Oh,
I haven't seen.
I did it.
Yeah.
Is this how you podcast? Yes.
I honestly haven't seen anything about it. I've completely gone dark on it.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a game more uncompelling than New World is to me.
Oh, no.
It looks so fucking boring.
Oh no. I mean, it's got that nice medieval, fantasy, high fantasy thing going for it.
Yeah.
It sounds like the first 20 levels are kind of you get to trial classes, sort of. You can always respec So there's a certain amount of pull, and it's not a monthly subscription, which is like, that's I think a big thing for an MMO. If you can pay one time for an MMO and you can play it and have a really great time, then hell
Absolutely.
yeah. Take that
Sam in the
daily.
chat says he's already spent 103 hours in.
What
It's
the
been
fuck,
out for
man?
3 days. Wait, is that even possible?
I'm assuming he's talking about beta as well.
Beta. Yeah,
must
right.
have said no, that's the queue time.
Oh, queue time.
True.
103 hours queue time.
Oh my god! Why would you even
That's
play that game?
disgusting.
Hey, guess
Well,
what? You
that's
could
the
go
thing.
do that in 103 hours. Drive across the country.
It's true. It's true. It took my wife and I 88 hours to get from where we live to the East Coast and back.
Dang.
103 hours is that's plenty of time. You can stop and rest and enjoy yourself in 100.
Even go to Yosemite, or
yeah.
Yeah.
See the trees.
stop at the Great Lakes.
You can almost make it across Texas.
Yeah, like we
Takes-
know.
Yeah.
Without getting a ticket though.
No, ain't gonna happen.
You can't drive in the
whoa.
left lane in Texas, apparently.
That's
You
the
can't
rules.
cruise in the left lane.
I
Yeah,
was
the
doing
right lane
90.
is for cruising. Listen, I was just saying this last night. The right lane is for cruising. The left lane is for passing. If you are in the left lane cruising,
I was doing 90 miles an hour in the left lane and got a ticket for being in the left lane.
But
Not
not
for
for
going
going
90 miles an
accelerate.
hour.
Going 90 miles an hour.
You
police
can't
officer's
maintain
like, that's
speed.
fine. It was fun to catch up to you.
This pretty much, it's this cop in the podunk ass town in Texas,
Oh.
and he's like, "All right, there, partner. You know you can't drive in the left lane." I'm like, "Fucker, I didn't know that. You see my plates are from Virginia, right?" He's like, "Well, it's 4th of July weekend, and
Was
there are a
it
lot of
4th of
people on the
July?
road." Yeah, it was 4th of
4th
July.
of July.
And I was like,
Yeah, it was
"All right,
so
whatever. When is my court date? Next week." Oh, so you expect me to come back to some shitty town outside of Waco, Texas next week? Fine, I'll just pay the fine. $260.
Oh, you could have passed Chip and
Oh.
Joanna Gaines, and you wouldn't even have known at 90 miles an hour, Waco, Texas.
You didn't
But,
think my little Civic did that? Did back in the day.
All right, we're back on the rails. You guys
Yes.
can see New World.
Yes.
Thank God. All right. So Sam in the chat already brought something up because we already complained about the queue being too long. He said it's almost like the company made the game, has all the servers you could possibly need or something. That's because the game is made by Amazon Games, Orange County, and published by Amazon Games.
Really?
AWS, Amazon servers. I wonder if like there's an inner squabble between the departments of Amazon. They're like, AWS is like, fuck you gamers. We're gonna upcharge the servers just because. Oh, you like your budget? Nice and big and fat because Bezos got the space. Guess what? It's gonna take way more servers
isn't
to get
a
this game
company
going.
that has defense contracts that are related to AWS? Like, what are you going to push the button on a missile and it takes 45 minutes to fire off?
No, 103 hours.
Yeah, but it's say 45
Yeah.
minutes you wish.
Yeah.
We all wish.
Yes. Yes, they definitely need to get their auto scaling groups situated. That's right, Griffin Blade 77. I need to work
What a
on
dope
calling
name,
people
Griffin
out.
Blade 77.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the name of a blade in World of Warcraft, which is also coming up. But for the sake of discussion, I pulled these specific screen grabs they actually showed on their site. I was like, oh man, this game actually looks pretty awesome. And it's funny, I shared this with the group earlier, and Mahavi, you're right, man. I definitely kind of want to play this game now just based on like some of these shots and angles. Granted, I don't know how I'm going to get this low under a wolf without being mauled, but like these look pretty stellar. I kind of want to check it out. And I joked last week that what is this game, The New World? Is it like a game where you just like show up and kill indigenous people? And evidently that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
you're
really?
a colonizer. It's like a made up place, but it's based off of set in the mid 17th century, and players colonize a fictional land modeled after the Americas. So
Oh no.
yeah, for oppression.
That's so troubling. Oh
Amazon
no.
is batting 1,000. You know, rather than helping the world, they're sending that bald penis-looking dude up into space, and then they're going to put out a problematic
penis.
game in 2021.
How does he
Oh,
not know
no.
he looks just like and then flew in a rocket just like Dr. Evil? I don't understand it. Look at the size of
This
that
episode
Johnson.
brought to you by Amazon, AWS.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's definitely good times. But
This
no,
game
I
looks
definitely
boring.
I want to play it. I want to play it. What?
This game looks so fucking boring.
They've
sorry.
got the staff from Raiders of the Lost Ark that shows you where the Ark of the Covenant is on the left-hand side there. I don't know how you're not going to be stoked about this game.
But only in
Plus
a
you get
specific time of
feathers
day.
in your hat.
But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. MMOs hold a special place in my heart, and I look for something very specific in an MMO. Like when I play World of Warcraft, I'm like very interested in the story behind it and the lore and all of that stuff. And then when I play Star Wars: The Old Republic, I'm interested in the fact that you can
Lore.
be anything that you want in that game, whether it's a Jedi or Sith or anything like that, and you have that. And then when I play Final Fantasy 14, I just want to look like a cute cat boy. So, this game, I'm sorry, I don't know, it's just me. This game just looks
Is it
good.
because you already live in an oppressive America and you don't need to play a game that's an oppressive America?
I'm a brown guy in the United States in 2021. I'm living in the new world.
Oh, that was hurtful, and I apologize. Me sitting here on my privilege. Moving right along. This also does look like a complete ripoff of Casey Jones's Mask here in the middle. You can't tell me that guy is not trying to beat up Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
For those of you who are younger, Casey Jones was a guy in a hockky mask that hung out with the Ninja Turtles. And if you don't
Played
know
by
who the
Stephen
Ninja
Amell.
Turtles are,
Yeah.
Stephen Amell from Arrow fame, and from getting thrown off planes for getting fights with his wife.
Not a good look, Steve.
Nah, man, he owned up to it. He was like, "Look, I was a
did.
dick. I deserve to get thrown off the plane."
Okay.
I was-
Because he's in
he
that
also said he
wrestling
was
show
drunk.
now.
Yeah,
We
he's like,
love
"I was drunk, I
character
was a dick."
character development is
He
good.
was like, I'm in the movie, a show called Heels, where you're supposed to be the bad guy, and I was just in character. I was being a method actor. How do you not ride that train? Wow.
Jared Leto did it for Joker. Look how it turned out for him.
Oh
Look at Heath Ledger.
no! Always too soon.
How's it turn out?
Always too soon.
And what do you know? Activision Blizzard's in the news again.
Jesus.
So the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, as I like to call them, has been unearthed in a recent news update from the Activision Blizzard ongoing litigation. And I'm going to read the little blurb here. Thank you, Mahaffey, for once again always putting this together for us. Activision Blizzard just put out a press release indicating that it has reached an agreement to settle the just revealed U.S. Equal Opportunity Commission lawsuit. Incredible. How are you going to out yourself in a press release that you didn't have to? It states in part, under the agreement, Activision Blizzard has committed to create an $18 million fund to compensate and make amends to eligible claimants. Any amounts not used for claimants will be divided between charities that advance women in the video game industry or promote awareness around harassment and gender equality issues, as well as company diversity, equity, maybe that's equality too, and inclusion initiatives as approved by the EEOC. The agreement is subject to court approval. The release also includes a statement from CEO Bob Kotick, so take this with a grain of salt and a shot of penicillin. There is no place anywhere at our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind.
Why does
I
he
am
sound like John
grateful
F. Kennedy?
Oh,
to the
fucking
employees
sure,
who
dude.
bravely shared their experiences. I'm sorry that anyone had to experience inappropriate conduct, and I remain unwavering in my commitment to make Activision Blizzard one of the world's most inclusive, respected, and respectful workplaces. You can't not read that and not have
Where
a
the fuck is
dickhead
Bobby Kotick
kind of
from?
accent.
Yeah, where
No, he's from Long Island, New York.
I not
Oh,
only
I
wanted to
could've went-
claw out my eyeballs, but also claw off my ears. Thank you.
I could have went like Governor Cuomo with it, I guess, but I just didn't feel like doing that. Excuse me,
That's a whole
ex-Governor
family
Cuomo.
that's been in the news recently too. Both the Cuomos apparently sexually harassed.
Yep.
people.
I mean, when the shoe fits.
You're a duck.
Exactly.
So real quick, Griffin in the chat was talking about the $18 million settlement, and it's like a fraction of
Yeah.
Bobby Kotick's bonus for the year.
Right.
Like he could pay that $18 million 10 times.
yeah, and not
or
even
He's got like a
sneezed.
sock drawer, and that's where it came from. It's like,
Yeah,
it was-
Yeah, it's
it was
petty
in-
cash.
Yeah, it's in his couch.
Right.
God.
Right. So I mean,
it's fantastic.
it just doesn't feel like justice for the lives that were so derailed from where they should have been. And it's just, I mean, it's another example of a big bad company getting away with murder because they have 18 million? Are you fucking kidding me? 18, that's it? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a girl killed herself.
Right. Someone died
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
it. Like,
I bet he like
I haven't
didn't
played
even
any of their
memorize it,
shit
so he had to read
recently.
it from a
It's
piece of
been
paper.
insane. Like I just feel less enamored with their bullshit over the last couple of weeks, months, and you know, it's really unfortunate because there are a lot of people that work at that company that are not shitbags, that
Right.
are victims in this, and it sucks.
True.
But yeah, $18 million. That's like fucking the people that play WoW paying for 1 month of WoW.
Yeah.
Like,
Not even.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not even.
It's got to be even less than that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Toby in the chat says literally getting away with murder. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
getting away with murder.
And then you gotta want like, and then you gotta. Of course, we always talk about this every time Activision comes up, which is unfortunately every week. I feel like half the show should just be called Joystick Maverick. This
Talks
week
about
in
Activision.
Blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they should just definitely be paying us for part of that, not part of that 18 million, but a little bit of
No,
chunk
no,
change for
yeah.
at least defending the good people that work there, that work to try to create content and a good environment, and at least spoke up about the shit that happened to them. But
They're making all the wrong moves because now what they're doing is like they're trying to like say, oh yeah, we're inclusive, so we're gonna take out the fart emote in WoW and we're gonna make
The
the
spit emote.
pictures fruit instead of scantily clad women, and we're like, that's not the problem, guys. Maybe don't go into somebody's cubicle and show them your dick. Like, just don't do shit like that. Like,
I mean,
this is
I
good
mean,
rule of
and
thumb.
ABK, the semi like union that they've got going on, have a list of things that they want changed, and none of that's happened. None of it. Let's
They're
not forget
literally just ignoring what's being
Yeah.
said. Like,
Yeah,
it's
for
fine.
sure.
Throw money at the problem. Somebody else
Yeah.
will manage that, right?
they changed the whistle emote from a cat call. So good on you, Activision Blizzard. Way to take a stand against, you know, all the shit that you've done over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's great.
Gender inequality in game
Yeah.
development. You
Yes,
really did it.
You fucking hit the mark, guys.
Excellent.
I mean,
Sam,
and
Sam Heaps
in
the chat
general,
said, hashtag we're the good guys
The good
now.
guys.
hashtag feels good, man. Good job.
Yeah.
No, and Blizzard is notorious. They've been notorious for years for underpaying their developers in the first place.
Yeah.
Because it's exposure, which is gross. Now that we know that it was literally exposure.
Exposure.
Right.
I didn't say what
Yeah.
kind.
We didn't
Yeah.
say you were gonna get exposure. We said we were gonna expose to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Semantics.
It's putting the comma in the right place, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Let's eat, Grandma, or let's eat, Grandma.
Let's eat grandma.
So I know we don't have much other news for gaming, but there was something big that was announced today that we should talk about a little bit, and that was Sony. Sony bought Bluepoint.
Yep.
Which is a big deal. Bluepoint Games, who did the Demon Souls remake for PlayStation 5, which is fucking beautiful. I have no idea. Oh shit! Sounds like somebody fell down the stairs.
Did somebody fall down the stairs?
I hope somebody didn't fall down the stairs.
I'm
Jesus.
assuming on your end, because
Yeah. No. So yeah, it sounds like someone fell down the stairs. But Bluepoint, yeah, they did the Demon Souls remake. The Demon Souls remake was incredible, phenomenal, beautiful game. But it's just another slate in these Microsoft and Sony acquisitions that look awesome. Like, I mean, Microsoft bought Bethesda and Sony bought Bluepoint now, and I mean, for a while Sony was just quiet when it comes to like any of their games coming out, and then kind of blew it out of the park with the Sony State of Play that came out last month and showing like 2 Insomniac titles and God of War Ragnarok and all that shit. So it's really cool to see that they're acquiring those studios. And my guess is that Bluepoint's going to do something really, really cool with Sony. Because like I said, their Demon Souls remake was great. Now everybody wants Bloodborne, which I don't think Bloodborne needs a remake.
Right.
I don't think it needs a remake, but it definitely needs a part 2.
Sure.
yes.
Yeah, build more in that world. Build more with those mechanics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out Griffin Blade. Also in the news, Netflix bought Night School Studio, which made Oxenfree, which makes that like their first official like gaming buy, correct, boys?
We're gonna get a Stranger Things game from the Oxenfree developers. Which, I mean, fuck, Oxenfree was dope.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know that I'd be mad about that.
No, I probably would play that.
I don't know anything about Oxenfree. What is it?
It's a point and click adventure game that has horror elements to it. It has a lot to do. There's a lot of gameplay surrounding dialogue options and how fast or slow you say what you're going to say. And so the characters have this it's a very fun, loose kind of dynamic based a lot on dialogue, as well as some other regular normal point and click mechanics, picking
That's
things
awesome.
up, interacting with
So
things.
you,
It
so
is
you
a
can sound
great
like
game.
Bobby Kotick, or you can sound like Sling Blade if you choose. Just it's real kind of slow with it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's the timer of like you could say the positive thing, but once that timer is up, you have to say the negative thing, like kind of
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
kind of
Yeah.
mechanic. Yeah, it's cool.
Nice shoes, you suck. Nice shoes.
Yeah.
For those of
Reason
you
that
who
you
don't
suck.
know that are in the younger crowd, Sling Blade is a movie from the 90s.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, that's
Hey, you know what?
me.
The four of us laughed. This is not safe for work or for kids, okay? I mark this channel mature. If your parents aren't around and you click the button, that's their fault. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Griffin Blade
with
says
them.
he takes some Netflix money. Wouldn't we all take some Netflix money?
Oh, please. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
You kidding
buddy.
me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to retire on a yacht in Capri, baby.
There was a recent American Horror Story season that came to Hulu, American Horror Stories, and one of the movies or clips in it was around a movie that basically forced everybody to become murderers. I bring that up because at the end, something happened and Netflix was involved, which was funny because it was a Hulu show. So I love that even Hulu is going to like
Hulu
throw a middle
shooting.
finger towards Net. Yeah, they're just like,
Yo, I
got
would
nothing
love
else.
to see an East Coast, West Coast style rap battle between Hulu and Netflix. And then like
Oh,
Amazon
that'd
Prime
be
Video
great.
comes in and says, "Hi guys, I want to be involved too."
Look at the rocket.
It's a real hip hopopotamus kind of moment.
We
My
made
lyrics are
Marvelous
bottomless.
Mrs. Maisel. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Hip-hop rap battles of history. Just
Yeah.
Netflix and Hulu.
That's-
Awesome. Oh, I love it. I love it. Speaking of
Is that a
things that could be
Street
coming
Fighter
soon,
versus? Did you take that from? Yeah, it is. It is a Street Fighter versus. I
I
like
didn't
it.
give any credit in that bottom thing
Oh,
there. Photo credit,
yeah.
not Street Fighter.
It's not Street Fighter. It's Fight
Not
Streeter.
Capcom. Yeah.
It
from
doesn't stand
Rapcom.
for versus. It stands for zzz.
I worked it up by hand 5 minutes before the show. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have a brush that does that. I'm trying to Procreate. This week on Coming Soon, coming out tomorrow, and I've already been spoiled twice today.
Have you really?
Oh, wonderful.
No shit. Okay. I woke up this morning.
He's about to spoil it all for us.
No,
Now you guys get
I
to deal
promise
with
I'm
it.
not. I promise I'm not because I slid real quick. Unfortunately, I read a little bit of Spanish and it spoiled it for me, even in another language on the second one. Sitting there going through TikTok, doing my thing in the morning, the 3 S's, shower, shave, and then about the second swipe up, it was like, Venom spoiler, woo, real quick, zip. Okay, cool. We're back to cats and weird shit. And then number 7, Venom spoiler. Blah, 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 blah. And then a big word in English. They were just like, we're just going to put a big. Honestly, right now, if you wanted to become like a big bunch of views on TikTok, you could just put anything together and then just put large words for characters in the MCU, and I bet people will believe it. Because now I'm broken. I'm just jacked up. I didn't want to spoil it for anybody else. And now, right now, I don't even know if it's a spoiler or not because I didn't watch it. But it was definitely hand cam. People are. Just in the theaters, and I'm like, come on, dude, it's not even until tomorrow. Like, what are we doing?
Sucks.
It was 5 a.m.
Yeah, fuck
on
that,
the East
dude.
Coast.
People who spoil stuff on the internet, fuck them.
Yeah.
Also, I thought the way to
Garbage.
make money on TikTok was to do the Mega Knees challenge.
What was that?
You don't know what that
What's your algorithm like?
is? Dude,
What do you
ask
served
Mike
up?
what my TikTok algorithm is. It's shirtless guys and lightsabers and dogs.
Buff chicks.
Hell yeah,
Buff
let's
chick.
go.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go.
bum chicks, shirtless guys, and yeah,
Fit chicks need love too, brother. Fit chicks need love
it's
too.
amazing.
And fit dudes. I don't judge.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman lean in for a kiss. You're kissing those men.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You are
11
kissing
out of
those
10
men.
times, partner.
I can explain.
Don't need to.
Actually, let's go back. We did a little bit of cannon fodder before the show. I want to really talk about Venom a little bit. The first movie for me was fun. I knew it was when I went in. I wanted some things to happen that didn't happen. That's all right. But when you just know that you're going into a Tom Hardy with not his native accent movie that's going to be about Venom, not in the MCU, you know what you're getting.
Riz Ahmed was really good as Riot too. I liked him a lot. And
Oh yeah.
uh I mean, the bar was real low because what other Venom did we got? We got fucking Topher Grace in Spider-Man
Yeah,
3.
it's true.
Shout out
Sorry,
to Sam
thank
Raimi. Doctor
For
Strange
life.
too. Um, but I agree with you. I thought it was fun. I like Tom Hardy a lot. He's not typically what I pictured Eddie Brock would look like.
Hmm.
Actually, Topher Grace is more of what I pictured Eddie Brock would look like,
Taller.
but
Really?
more buff, like a more
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
of a
say,
Topher
stocky.
Grace.
Eddie-
Just a stocky dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Brock is like a fridge. He's like,
Yeah. A linebacker.
yeah, he's like a
Yeah.
linebacker almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have just got what's his name from the Bears, Brian Urlacher. Just beat Eddie Brock. Be great.
Phil Goldberg
Even-
from WW. Nothing. Okay.
I would love
Triple
that.
H.
It would be so good. But he has to spit water out of his mouth at every scene.
Yeah.
His hair has to flip back.
You guys are old.
You know what?
Even I don't know who that is.
You
Triple
know why
H?
all of my
No, I know who
Let's say,
Triple H is.
oh, it's
I
like,
know
I
who
know
Bill
Triple H
Goldberg
is.
was.
Yeah.
Is Goldberg the bald guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then I
He
do.
would do
He
the
was in,
spear.
yeah,
I
he
don't
was in
like it, yeah.
WCW versus NWO on Nintendo 64.
Sure.
Yeah, the main reason my references come from the 90s and early aughts is because I didn't have a job then. So I could like play games and watch shows and go to movies. And now I do have a job and I'm baby. So like we're getting like half opinions from Venom, even though it comes out at midnight tonight that I'm not going to go see it.
I'll see it tomorrow.
Sorry.
I'm excited about seeing it though because I love
Mhm.
Carnage.
Carnage is so dope.
What a great
Yes.
villain. Also, I'm really glad they got rid of that stupid fucking toupee that Woody Harrelson was wearing at the end of the first movie.
I mean,
So-
wasn't he bald like around then? Like he had just buzzed
He
it
was.
for another role.
I think it was like Hunger Games or something, wasn't it? The
don't
last Hunger Games movie? I don't fucking know. It was Natural Born Killers. That's what it was. He was doing Natural Born Killers around that time, right?
Uh-huh.
Again, for younger folks, that was a movie from the 90s.
But to your point, yeah, Woody Harrelson, I'm excited about. I'm interested to see, really just how vicious Carnage is. I'm wondering whether or not,
Yeah.
they kind of lean into it a little bit of how Carnage later on could like stab people and then suddenly take them over, kind of like zombies or like extensions
Right.
of himself. Like I want to see, where they put the limitations in as far as the movie, but also I'm curious if there were limitations legally, like, hey, you got Carnage as the character, but you're only stuck in like this kind of window of story that you can play with, right? Like the movies we've made or the comics we've made after the licensing began, you can't use those storylines because they're ours, right? And so I'm interested to see what that is.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
knows? But in the trailer, something interesting that somebody else brought up was that like when he's being shot at, he's opening that hole in his stomach,
Yeah.
and the bullets are going
Yes.
straight through, and Eddie and Venom can't do that.
Right. That's that's straight out of the comic books because
Right.
Carnage is like infused with Cletus
Yes.
Cassidy's
Yeah.
Did any of you read King in Black? I'm sorry, I'm not going to derail this whole thing, but King in Black, the thing about
yet.
Null, the symbiote.
No.
You should read it. It's about the symbiote god, and it has
Okay.
like a bunch of
Ah.
Carnage stuff in it too. So
Interesting.
you should
Gotcha.
read it. It's really good.
But no, yeah, to your point, Carnage and Cletus, they're basically the same person, right? They're the same being. Like when you see them kind of peel away, it's almost like he's being created. Woody Harrelson's face is being created versus peeling away, where Eddie Brock and the symbiote kind of just they have an agreement.
Coexist. Right.
Yes.
It's,
yeah.
yeah.
Toby says
But,
in chat they make this thing look like a horror movie, and I could not
They
agree
do.
more. Yeah.
What's
And-
the rating on this? Is this an
PG-13.
R-rated movie? It's PG-13. Interesting. Interesting. So I read the Amazing Spider-Man as a kid, and I remember Carnage coming into the Amazing Spider-Man, and all of the really kind of grotesque violence would take place off panel. Like
Yeah.
you would know that it was happening, but it would never be shown discreetly. And so I'm wondering if they lean into, because like if it's a rated R movie, then they can do all of the nasty, like in your face disgustingness. But in PG-13, I wonder if they do a lot of the kind of Carnage, really grotesque killing just off screen.
You'll just see shadows of like scythes going through people's bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, that's great. Like, look, it's gonna be so easy to animate this movie.
But I mean, even in the trailer, Carnage puts his tongue into a soldier, and the soldier's like, "Rah."
Yeah.
That's gross. That is some gross shit.
Well, I don't know, man.
That's a manga
PG-13
level
in
shit.
2021 is a lot different than PG-13 in 1999.
That's
That's
fair.
true.
Like,
That's true.
things are getting a lot more edgy, so we'll see. I mean, I'm stoked for it.
Have you seen a PG-13 movie from like the late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, Jaws.
There's like so much going on in those movies that
There
would
were
not
boobs
fly
in
today
Titanic, and it was PG-13.
for sure. That would never fly today.
You can say fuck one time in a PG-13 movie too. I learned that from the movie
Yes.
Be Cool with John Travolta.
But they had to plan the
Jack
fuck real
Tom.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scientology, for that fun fact today.
Vince Vaughn is also in that movie.
Twinkle, twinkle, motherfucker.
Okay.
You know, that's the movie.
I do know.
Ernie's with me. Everybody else is like, what the fuck is Tom talking about?
Nope. Yeah.
He beats him with an aluminum bat. Gets
The
caught
Rock
that
is also in that movie. All right, cool. No Time to Die. James
way.
Bond.
No Time to Die. Yeah.
Wait, Griff is saying, Griffin Blade 77 is saying there's a hierarchy. You can trade the one fuck for extra shits. That's hysterical. Like there's an umbrella of curse words, and some are worse than others.
That's
Just
awesome.
currency. You like go into Hogwarts. You're like, hey, I wanna trade one galleon for 10 shits.
Can I have one shit, please? 3 shits for one fuck, please.
Like, oh, we can't say another shit. Wait, guys, jingle jingle in my pocket.
Can I have 5 bitches for 3 shits, please? That just cracks me up.
I love it. This movie, No Time to Die, is Daniel Craig's last appearance as 007.
Really? Okay.
Because it is, I'm gonna take a moment. I'm gonna read the synopsis. James Bond has left active service. Surprise again. I mean, he does it every movie.
Didn't he do
His
that in
piece is
Spectre?
short-lived. Yeah, exactly. His piece is short-lived when Felix Leiter, played by you know who, the Watcher, Jeffrey Wright, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. It's currently sitting at 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. I love the Bond franchise. I think Daniel Craig's doing a great job as Bond. He's getting older, that's fair. But I'm curious who's going to be the next Bond. I'm looking at you, Idris Elba. Do you have the time?
yeah.
Come on,
Someone
baby.
says Henry Golding too could be a good Bond. I think Henry Golding would be a good Bond.
Who's Henry Golding?
He's the guy from
Crazy Rich Asians?
Rich Asians.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In the movie The Gentleman recently with Matthew McConaughey.
There was another actor too that I saw that was
So if you look at
obviously Henry Cavill.
Henry
John
Cavill.
Boyega.
Henry
Oh,
Cavill
that-
said he wants to play a villain actually, which is
Nice.
I'm totally
John
in for
Boyega
Henry
would be
In
Cavill.
for.
I like John Boyega. Oh, there's one other person. Oh, the main character, Shadow Moon from
Oh
American
shit,
Gods.
Ricky. Fuck, I know his name. It's Ricky something. I know you're talking about from American Gods. I
They're
forgot
saying
he was
he'd be
British.
another option. Yeah, so
They also said the dude from Bridgerton as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy. I think Idris Elba's too old, to be honest.
that's fair.
maybe.
At
That's
this
fair.
point, Idris Elba's too old. I think 10
Really?
years ago when this was all first being talked about, I think that would have been good. But I think
Yeah.
he's a little too old now at this point. Also, the girl who plays 008 or 9 in this, I don't know the actress, but she could be the next James Bond. She'd be fucking cool. She looks cool.
Ana de Armas or
No.
Naomi Harris. No, Eve Moneypenny. That's Naomi Harris.
I can't remember her name, but she's the one that's like.
The other
Lashana
agent.
Lynch. Yeah. She's playing Nomi. Somebody in chat said Ruby Rose. Actually, I saw this little blurb, evidently in an interview with Daniel Craig. They asked, how would you feel about a woman playing James Bond? His response was, I don't think a woman should play James Bond. And I could hear like a pin drop. And he said, because I think women should have their own strong characters.
I think so too.
Okay.
And I was like, interesting take. It's like, no, but at the same time, he does agree there should be just as equally a badass female character with their own like 70-year history of like swapping
Yeah.
out roles.
Well, I mean,
It's like,
James Bond is written in fiction, in novel form, as a male character, but like fiction is
Right.
fiction for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
don't
the
know,
gender
that's
interaction
tough.
on this.
between
There
she
could
and
be a
he
Buddy
is a
007
single
movie.
letter. So
Right. And who cares? Like, yeah.
yeah. End of the day, we're still gonna watch it.
Ooh, Griffin
Yeah,
Blade. I love that
hell
idea.
yeah. Oh my God, please. Every James Bond movie that comes out. Yeah.
Griffin Blade said they
oh.
should do an alt series where Bond dies in the first scene and Q and the crew have to take care of business. That would be dope as fuck.
Yeah.
That would be
I'd
sweet.
watch a whole series of just young M, just a younger James Duty Dench.
I would just watch
killing.
Dame Judi Dench.
Doesn't much matter
That's
where.
my type.
She's just sipping tea by the fire. Tom's got it for 45 minutes.
Just watch it.
It's the
I'll
new
go get the
Christmas
popcorn.
Yule log. Yeah.
You'll
Dame
watch
Judi Dench.
Judi Dench drinking tea
Sipping
by a
cider.
fire. All right.
She's
If
just
she's with Helen
clearing her
Mirren,
throat.
I would watch a full
Yeah,
movie where
yeah.
Ben, what's his name? Ben Whishaw.
yeah,
It would
accepted
is
an
the-
Oscar or a what is it? He accepted an Oscar and he was very energetic.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, super energetic.
Did he
is
talk like
nothing
Paddington?
less. Is he Paddington?
He's Paddington. Those
I
movies
just
are
went Roy
fantastic.
Kent
I heard they're
saying,
really good.
"Fuck by a fire" every 15 minutes.
Or Grunt.
He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Yule log, Yule log.
Ted Lasso. So good.
What a good show
So good.
too. God
So
damn.
good.
We're
We're
derailing.
gonna talk about that at the
I
end of
know. Yeah, we're off the rails yet again. They have been renewed for season 3 and 4, so technically that now fits into coming soon. And now here we go. My favorite
in.
slide of this whole
I
thing.
want this so
our,
bad.
our Vin Diesel thirst trap of the week. I follow Vin Diesel. You know, I love when he just makes a fool of himself by coming out with like a song that he thinks is going to be great, and it's just not. But then you get things like this. You're like, oh, that looks like something I've seen before. And then it's hashtag Riddick. Thank you, Matt, for putting this in here. I'm going to read the direct caption from his Instagram post. Incredible meeting today. Thanks, team. You know who you are. I am Groot. Let's just say Furia may be closer than you think. Hashtag Riddick. I can't really do his voice.
Y'all watch those movies?
That's pretty
Hashtag
good.
family.
Hashtag family. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that there wasn't family somewhere in there. Yeah.
I like the Riddick
that's
movies.
Furia.
The Riddick movies are so good.
So good.
It was the first time I saw what's his face from Star Wars, not Star Trek.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. Yeah, that was the first movie
Yeah.
I ever saw him in, and that was the second movie I ever saw the girl from Westworld, Thandie Newton. She's
Thandie
also
Newton.
in
Oh, Tandy Newton.
Chronicles of Riddick.
She's
What
the
a good set
other
of
half
movies.
of Carl Urban. Yeah. No, the movie's badass. The second one is definitely my favorite. First one obviously made the second one. The third one, Katie Sackhoff. What's up?
Well, yeah. And then the dude who played Deathstroke was in that movie, wasn't he? No,
Roman
Ra's
Janela?
al Ghul. No, Ra's al Ghul. The Ra's al Ghul from the Arrowverse was in Riddick.
Oh, was he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. What a good movie. I loved the Riddick movies. I played the game for Xbox was like one of the best film adaptations to a game like of all time. You could sell 8 menthol cools and get your eyes shine like me. So you see the dark. And then it took me, I saw those when I was younger and I didn't know what a menthol cool was. And I was like, oh, that's a cigarette. Got it.
That's got to be some alien thing I've never heard of.
Yeah, what's a menthol cool? Oh, wait,
Not
it's
something that tries to give you minty,
cigarette.
shitty smelling breath. You smell like an ashtray, but at least it's minty. It's like brushing your teeth and drinking orange juice right after. So gross. The next one, Matthew dropped this for us. The Sandman Act 2. I didn't realize Sandman, the first one, the audiobook, had so many like big name actors in it.
It's really
Obviously
good.
narrated
Too.
by Neil Gaiman, but starring role for Morpheus, James McAvoy. I mean, I'm not going to read all of these, but I mean, Brian Cox, John Lithgow, Bill Nighy, Andy Serkis,
Kat Dennings.
Chris, what's her name? Yeah, Kristen Shaw. Kristen Shaw is amazing.
She's so
incredible.
damn funny.
Kevin Smith's
many
in the
times-
second act.
Yeah, David Tennant. What's up, Doctor Who? And how many things is Jeffrey Wright going to be in on this episode?
I don't
He's
know,
in so much shit.
but I
How
want
much
him in
money is he
everything.
making?
I want him in everything.
His voice is so velvet. He's Gordon in the new Batman. I'm so fucking excited.
Oh, okay.
So much.
Have you not
juiciness.
listened to the first act, Ernie? It's
No,
really
no.
good. If you've never read the Sandman, like it's really well done. I listened to it almost all in one sitting. Like I
Yeah.
just for hours and hours I listened to it. It was so good.
First of all,
I know it's like
anything narrated by Neil Gaiman is an 11 out of 10 for me. Just because
Yeah.
Really?
just the like lilting tone of his voice just is so perfect
He's
for
very
everything that he
smooth.
writes. Very smooth.
I secretly kind of hoped he had like a really jacked up like radio voice, like or
No,
the
it's
reverse of a radio
wonderful.
voice, where like he's a great writer, but he sounds like this, and just
No.
He talks your clothes off. for sure.
Unfortunately, no.
he's just multi-talented. Some people
Well,
have it all.
And side note, today I found out that Good Omens, which was a book written by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, they have their own fully cast audiobook coming out, I think, in November. With
Nice.
with
Michael
the
Sheen
cast
and
from
David Tennant.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, I'm in. I wanted the
That
American
sounds-
Gods full one to be with Ian McShane and all of them, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But
So any audiobook on Audible that's narrated by Neil Gaiman, get it. It is he's so good at it.
it's really cool. I didn't know anything about Sandman. I know that Constantine comes from that universe. But it was like I was immediately hooked when I listened to it. James McAvoy. God damn, James
Yeah.
McAvoy. He's
Hey.
like the triple threat. Good looking, beautiful voice, and he can act.
And
Is that the triple threat?
yeah, something like that.
Just fan yourself real quick for me. Just woo.
You gotta cool off a little bit.
John Constantine in this audiobook is played by Taron Egerton, who
nice.
would also be a good Bond.
Ooh, Taron Egerton would be a good Bond.
He's young
like
enough.
if they did a young Bond.
Yeah, he's young enough. He
Ooh.
and it would just be Kingsman, but like gritty and less anal sex jokes.
Oh, then I'm out.
I'm out.
Maybe less anal sex jokes.
That's awesome. At least we're on brand today for how we talk about people we've never met. I love it. Speaking of people we've never met,
Did you
Coming
guys watch
soon.
Did you guys watch the credits? Super cool. Did you watch the credits?
Oh, I'm
Dude.
yelling. I'm yelling. I'm yelling. This shit
for
looks
people
so
on the-
dope,
on the
and I'm
podcast,
so
this is
in.
So
Cowboy
good.
Bebop coming to Netflix. Released their trailer this week. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it now.
Mm.
I was so pumped. Like I'm getting Sin
Mhm.
City vibes. I'm getting like all the things that I really want to
That's
see in
true.
something based off of a kind of a comic or cartoon. This is it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks so the intro when they showed the credits and like I'm just like I was immediately brought back into watching this show on Toonami as a kid and I
Oh.
was like I cannot wait. My wife and I are watching the original together in
Nice.
anticipation of the show. And I'm like, "Man, John Cho looks like Spike. I cannot believe it."
It's incredible. Such a good casting, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Plot synopsis for this, just for everybody who doesn't know what Cowboy Bebop is, and if you're not like us, obviously children of the 90s. A ragtag crew of bounty
We're all
hunters
really excited.
chases down the galaxy's most dangerous criminals. They'll save the world for the right price. Now, this definitely looks. This like the next three things are all going to be Netflix. Spoiler alert. But this is the first one, and I wanted this one to be first because I had the most like hyped up hard nips for it out of all three of the things we're about.
And
to
most
talk about.
certainly, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it hit that nostalgia like pocket for me. The next two, I don't really have any like fond memories. One is kind of a new thing. The other one's kind of some games that I've never played, based off of some Polish literature that I've never read. So, we're gonna get there.
Is that The
eventually. But
Witcher? It's like, you're being
Yes.
very
Yeah,
ambiguous. I love that. That was great.
Witcher season 2.
Games I never played based on some Polish literature.
The only thing that come out of Poland that we know about, I don't really know. Anybody know any Polish actors? No.
Where did Bjork come from?
The guy from Vampire Diaries is from Poland. Paul Wesley.
Who that? Which one's that?
I just know that because my wife was watching Vampire Diaries before the show.
Fair enough.
All right. Is he a triple
My
threat?
wife,
Can he
yeah.
sing?
My wife, that's it, me, while I'm drinking my Chardonnay
You basic bitch. I love it.
and reading Vogue.
So, Road to Season 2 came out, a little trailer with The Witcher. It to me, what I liked about the little clip was Geralt's, basically in the same house with Ciri now. They finally linked up. That's the end of season 1. Spoiler alert. Hang on. I did this. Ready? Spoiler alert. For those on stream, you can now see a spoiler alert. As long as the spoiler alert bar is up, we're going to be spoiling something. I'm going to do my best to be more active about actually showing this because I've been really, really bad at it. But for right now, spoiler
Call
alert.
us professionals.
Yeah, sometimes.
Let's
Working towards it.
fucking
It's
go.
firing.
We're doing our best. But no, so spoiler alert, end of season 1, we had The Witcher, aka Geralt, meet up with Ciri, and then this clip, it was all of a sudden you heard a bunch of ruckus in the house they're in. She's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Stay here." And then you see him drink his little vial, and she goes, "No, don't leave." And then he spins around, he's all blacked eyes and looks all crazy. And it was like go time. It's like, dude, if you got something in the house, who would you rather have like protecting you?
I
The
just want
Witcher
Henry Cavill in my
from a
house.
monster. Well,
Venom.
yeah.
Venom.
Eat the bad guys.
I can't really. Yeah.
All right.
So for anybody who hasn't seen season 1 and they're interested, it's just something they want to get around to. I am going to spoil one thing, but I think it's absolutely necessary to spoil.
Spoils back up. Good. Good.
Things aren't happening at the same time. Things are not happening in the sequence you think they are.
Took me 7 episodes to fucking realize that.
Yeah, because that's when they, in the 7th episode, I think that's where they reveal that everything
Is on different
has been
timelines.
presented in a very specific way. So
Well, you're looking for the one guy with white hair to have different color hair if they're going backwards in time, but it's
Right,
always
he just
flipping white
looks the
hair.
same.
You're just like, oh, that's just an older dude.
Yeah.
Great skin. He's got Neutrogena, Nope, he's just getting older. Everybody's staying the same age. But no, this I'm definitely looking forward to. What about you, Soup? You excited about the Witcher?
The Witcher. I haven't seen Witcher season 1. I've never played any of the games. I'm excited to see the music that comes out of it because I loved the music coming out of The Witcher. Lots and lots of D&D players using The Witcher's music to background their D&D games.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
genius.
So
It's
I'm
so
excited
good.
to see what comes out of that. What other media comes out of The Witcher?
I'm definitely looking forward to it, especially if there's another jingle like "Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty." I love that game.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess in the book he's kind of a hooer, which is why I didn't realize like his clothing was so kind of like halfway unbuttoned most of the time. Which I guess for their time period, that's like a sign.
Wait,
You got
who's
three
a
buttons
whore?
undone. The guy, the musician
Oh, him.
who
I
travels
thought you
around.
said Geralt. I was like,
No.
Well, you wish.
I mean-
we all wish, right? He gets it in. We're
Yeah,
just
but I
not
say he
allowed
gets
to
enough.
see it. I digress. All right, next up, this one's newer content taking place in used to take a place in a town with my same last name, the town of Hawkins, Indiana. And yet, we're supposedly not in Hawkins anymore. If you read the tagline for season 4, I'm excited. I'm excited.
did they? Okay. They showed some trailers for this like 2 years ago. This looks like a completely different show. And is it because they're all like 17 and 18 years old now?
I
Like,
wonder-
the show looks completely different.
Well, I wonder how much they had to
Yeah.
reshoot based on
I feel like they had to reshoot the whole fucking show.
the pandemic hitting, and then
The
Who
kids
knows?
growing up into actual real adults, like
Yeah.
actors.
yeah. Apparently, Finn Wolfhard is like 6'2" or something like that. He's like super tall now.
Mm.
And of course, Millie Bobby Brown has been groomed by Drake during that time period as
Yeah,
well,
Jesus.
supposedly. So that's happened.
What?
This is taking a turn.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's the juice. That's the juice on the street, boys. And then there's a
God.
song that gives it away in the latest Drake album, supposedly.
Oh my god.
I'm so hood. I know all the hips in the
Yeah.
house. I'm so
Both of them.
into it. I'm into it.
I know hip and
Speaking
hop.
of hops,
Both of them. Yeah, right.
Speaking of hops, we're excited to officially announce that production for Stranger Things 4 is now underway, and even more excited to announce the return of Hopper. See, hip hop.
Oh,
Ended there.
okay.
Although
okay.
it's not all good news for our American, Hopper is imprisoned far from home in the snowy wasteland of Kamchatka, Russia, where he will face dangers both human and other. That's ambiguous. Meanwhile, back in the States, a new horror is beginning to surface, something long buried, something that connects everything. from the Duffer Brothers. Duffer.
Duffer.
Duffer Brothers.
Like The Witcher, I'm excited for this, but I'm more excited for the music that comes from this.
Yes.
Music,
absolutely.
The music from Stranger Things. I can't remember the guys' names. I know they were from a band called Survive, but they are
Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel.
No, Michael McDonald. Michael McDonald, Yacht Rock.
I was hoping for like a Mark Mothersbaugh kind of soundtrack. That'd be great. And for those that don't know, Mark Mothersbaugh, Devo. That's his original.
Those damn shorts. They need to drop the socks. All right.
Yeah, dude. I'm definitely looking at my guy on the left here. What's his name? The kid who always gets lost or whatever. Spoiler alert there,
Mike.
too. Them shorts, bro.
Woo.
Man.
No, that's not Mike. Who's that?
That is Mike.
Will.
Free the hams.
Will.
Well, buyers. Noah Schnapp.
Free the hams? Is that what you said?
Free the hams. Gotta free the hams, baby.
Don't forget to stretch those creamy hamstrings. Got some popsicles in my basement.
Oh, God, I feel like I need to take a shower now.
Yeah.
High runner style. Crying in the shower. Jesus.
Come here, fucking fat ass. Well, thank goodness that's the end of coming soon.
Next.
It was taking such a turn. And this lightning round, so lightning round typically is where we kind of summarize all the kind of headlines from the past week. But this week, we're going to do kind of the similar thing, but not. It's one headline. We're going to time box it 5 minutes or less, so we can kind of keep our episodes short. This week, it's all about Marvel Studios suing to keep Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the rights to Avengers. Pretty crazy. Because I wouldn't have even like thought about this angle or really like understood it. But I'll read the news and I'll read the breakdown, and we can kind of go just jib-jab about it. News. So Marvel has filed a series of lawsuits in a bid to retain full control of characters including Spider-Man and Iron Man. The complaints, which were obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, came after the estate of the late comic book artist Steve Ditko filed a notice of termination with the U.S. Copyright Office for the copyright of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Both are currently held by Marvel Entertainment, but the estate of Ditko, who co-created both characters with the late Stan Lee, is looking to terminate the grant of copyright to Marvel by June 2023 through a clause in the U.S. copyright law. Ditko's estate filed the notices in August as part of a flurry of notices filed by the intellectual property lawyer Mark Toberoff on behalf of the estate of comic book artists and writers, including Don Heck, Gene Colan, not Colin, which I had a thing with today, and Don Rico, seeking to reclaim rights over characters including Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Captain Marvel.
Sorry, I can't get past that.
Oh, yes. Very good.
It's so quick.
I hope you came for butt jokes.
Colon, not colon.
So yeah, the gist of this is that guys who were contracted and created these characters, there's a time limit when the parent company, Marvel, owns the copyrights of these characters. And that, from what I understand, it's like 60 years. So Spider-Man could go back to the heirs of Steve Ditko, like the rights to Spider-Man, which could lead to some interesting things. Like they could license out Spider-Man to whoever they wanted.
Right.
So I mean,
DC Comics.
They could do.
They could.
They actually could do that. They could make a Batman and Spider-Man movie if they wanted to. What I find interesting about this, and this is something I haven't seen people talk about, is this could be a backdoor way for Disney to get Spider-Man back.
See, that's a
They
positive.
just pay
thing
the
for me, right?
Ditko family a shit ton of money for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
That's a big middle finger to Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge middle finger to Sony.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine that it would just be like the same sock drawer that Bobby Kotick has for buying the rights to anything.
It's like,
Use that
Just
money.
fucking writing a check, and Sony's doing, or Disney's like, fuck you. Money
Do you
can't
want
happen.
gold bars,
50 million?
titanium, or vibranium? How do you want your money,
Please.
folks?
hey, as long as the competition creates more interesting stories and more interesting universes, I'm in for it. Let's go.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Game time. I love it.
But I think
I'm
what's
all
going
about
to
it.
actually end up happening is Disney's going to just pay them a
Buy
shit
it.
ton of money. Yeah.
Probably.
Just in
The mouse
retain
owns
the
all.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while I get excited about Marvel having all their characters back, it's always an internal struggle with Disney's
Yeah.
still kind of a shit corporation.
Yeah, the House of Mouse, man.
Yep.
We're never going to get sponsored or get any interviews with them. That's okay.
That's all right. That's all
We
That's
right.
probably
alright.
get interviews with Scarlett Johansson at this point.
Big eyes. Big eyes.
My wife's not right behind me, right?
No, we were talking about the color scarlet, like the scarlet letter. This is a book club now.
This is a book.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
they make scarlet colored paint in
So
Johannesburg.
Brotherhood
Yeah.
of the Scarlet Pants.
That was me today after my phone.
No, I-
All right.
No, next slide. Next
This
slide.
is your
Let's
fault.
go.
You did this to me. All right, real quick. This week, new releases. Oh man, moving right along. Speaking of new releases, not today. Not gonna do it. It's right there. I'm not gonna talk about things that released newly for me today. Star Wars Visions.
Fuck yeah, let's
Came out this
go.
last week. 9 episodes of what to me were probably the funnest Star Wars content that also didn't make sense in some parts of all time. And I can't wait for us to talk about it. I just grabbed 9 random clips here for those who are watching at home. Shout out Griffin Blade. What's up? Hey, yo, Sean. What's good, Sam? Toby, you still with us? I watched most. I haven't watched the last 2. I think it's Lab and Ocho and then Akari Kiri. I haven't watched those. But everything else I watched, I enjoyed. Even that slow burn, like Happy Mega Man Robot one, like who wants to become a Jedi and then finds out about it. But what did you guys think? We'll start from the top left corner of the duel.
The duel was off the chain.
Yeah,
The
probably
duel
the
sets it
best
off.
one to me. The first one was the best
My,
one.
was-
I
it
would say,
was my
but
second favorite.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites.
But yeah, when he pulls out the lightsaber and she pulls out the umbrella lightsaber, yeah.
Well, when he pulls out the lightsaber and it's red, and you're like, "Whoa, what's
Ooh.
happening here?" And then
These
at
are
the end,
words. I'm excited about all these words. I haven't watched this yet. I heard about this. No, it's okay. Spoil away. I'm gonna enjoy it anyways.
okay,
But
okay,
umbrella
Spoiler.
lightsaber? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, she has a
Yeah.
lightsaber and she it opens up and
That
the
sounds
blades come out
incredible.
and they spin. It's fucking
and then
sweet.
That
she
sounds
can
so
detach it. She can detach it, and it's a single blade.
Yes.
Yeah.
awesome.
But
That's so cool.
the twist at the end when you realize what the main character is actually doing,
Yeah.
chef's kiss.
Yeah, so,
Oh,
so
nice.
good.
Okay.
The next one, Tatooine Rhapsody for me was if that didn't hit just all my like pop punk kind of
yeah,
nice
really cool.
tones.
Okay.
I loved every bit of it, and I love that on the right hand side in this picture is an emo like hut from like Jabba the Hutt emo's cousin is
So good.
fantastic. One after that, the twins,
That
which
was my favorite one.
Yep.
Was that
So good.
Allison Brie and Neil Patrick Harris voicing
Yes.
the two of those? 'Cause
Neil
that's what
Patrick
that sounded
Harris
like.
from How I Met Your Mother fame.
I nailed it. I didn't even look that up.
Hey kids, Neil
No.
Patrick Harris was in a TV show where he played a
Yes.
doctor called Doogie Howser, and he was a kid.
Yeah,
He was also in Starship Troopers. But yes,
And
Neil
Harold and
Patrick
Kumar.
Harris and Allison Brie. It was really good.
Really
It
good.
was awesome. I will, at this point, I want to point out 2 things. I got 2 things that the internet has effed me up with. I don't know why I just said F, because I feel like what I'm going to say is going to be worse than just
Sam.
saying the word fuck.
Totally
But-
Sam. Put some
Sam.
respect on Dr.
But-
Horrible's
yeah,
name.
I-
One.
Dr. Horrible!
100%.
Yes.
Where is
Oh my
Captain
God.
Hammer? I miss me some Nathan Fillion in these too. But no, but the one thing that fucked me up, I was sitting there trying to find some good clips, rolling through Twitter like I do. Don't look up Star Wars Visions if you don't have any kind of safety filtering. About 10 tweets
Oh, a little
in.
bit Rule 34.
Oh my God, it was so graphic.
Oh,
These two
no.
doing things nobody should do that
Yeah.
quickly for a
That's
Star Wars
terrible.
kid fucking cartoon.
Nope.
What in the fuck is wrong with people?
Oh, real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Heyo Sean, who's in chat, because he's the one who put me on to
I
Kill
love
la
that that
Kill.
has made you think of him.
Well, we were talking about the twins. And the people
Oh,
who did
yeah.
the twins is Trigger, and they did Kill la Kill, and Kill la Kill
there you
was
go.
off the chain.
I need to watch it.
It's so good. Just you can watch it in one day.
Nice.
Is
But-
it on Netflix?
I think it is on Netflix. I either watched it on Netflix or Hulu. It was one of those two.
So the next one, going down the list here, we're going the one on the left here, The Village Bride. That one was kind of a meh story for me. I wasn't really necessarily paying attention until the yellow lightsaber showed up, and then I was kind of back in it. Like, okay, this person is now middle force aligned. She's fairly balanced with the force, going to be a great Jedi. I was like, okay, let's watch this. And then you go on to the next one, The Ninth Jedi. That was actually pretty fun.
That was my third favorite. I loved it.
The cinematics for it.
Yeah.
I mean, just the scale of the environment they were in. After that, this is the one I haven't seen, Lob and Ocho, but this does bring up another fucked up piece of the internet.
I already know. I already know what it is, and I hate it.
The sales for bunny butt plugs went up 66% after Star Wars Visions came out, thanks supposedly to Lob and Ocho.
How did they get my Amazon purchase?
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna like what they're gonna like. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right, it's fine. You're not hurting anyone.
Here.
Yeah.
Look, you know what?
I'm not judging what people do.
But
I'm just saying that this is a kids' cartoon, and like,
that's what I'm saying. We didn't even get a week. Just don't do this over a week without the world being.
I will not be kink shamed on this podcast. All right.
well,
Don't
depends on what.
I can't wait for you to like show up next week and just scratch your face while you're holding one of those bunny tail things. In your hand.
You guys see my new pen?
Pen is
Only
stuck.
writes in brown though.
Yeah, you should see the inkwell.
Butt jokes. Let's
Butt
go.
jokes, everybody.
Let's go. I need to rename the episode to "If you don't like butt jokes, go somewhere else." What's super cool?
Next episode. Yeah, right. Tune into the second half.
Oh god. No, the next three here. Hopefully they're a little bit more wholesome. So the next one was TOB1, which was to me like a Mega Man kind of like Space Boy. Like it was cute as a bundle. Yeah, it was wonderful. Toby, is that what it's called? Oh yeah. Toby. That's literally what he called the android. And then following up after that, we've got what is it? The Elder, which was my kind of like third favorite personally. I just love this creepy looking Jedi dude, and like just
Also done by Trigger, by the way, the people who did Kill la Kill.
Remind me what that
there
one
you go.
was. What was going on in that one?
That's the one where the Jedi Knight Padawan, they're on the Outer Rim. The Jedi Knight feels a disturbance in the Force.
Oh yeah.
They land, and then there's this dude who had two like katana-like blades. It only disperses at the bottom to the hilt. Pretty awesome.
I remember now.
No spoilers for that bit, even though I got the big old spoiler alert flag on. We'll keep moving. And then finally, to round it out, the last one I haven't seen, so I'm looking for you guys, the Akakiri. Too many Ks in a row. Akakiri. We're 1 K away from being too many Ks.
I have not watched this one either.
Let me look it up real quick. Talks amongst yourselves.
But yeah, so this is the Animatrix for Star Wars, which is off the chain. I mean, we have a lot of Star Wars content coming. We have Book of Boba Fett coming December 29th. We have the Disney Plus day of streaming on November 12th, which is going to be showing more Star Wars stuff. We have Ahsoka Tano coming. It's really cool and refreshing to see Star Wars stories that are not canon. I hope that they continue doing things like this. Maybe not another Star Wars Visions, but taking stories from the expanded universe or new stories and adapting them to this sort of medium. I would love to see something regarding the Old Republic. I know that they have this new thing, the High Republic, which they're doing a show called The Acolyte about a Sith acolyte. But the Old Republic and all of the expanded universe material is so deep. I mean, Mike and I have gone through the Darth Bane books, the Darth Revan books, all of the.
I still have your Darth Bane books, Mike. I'm pretty sure I owe you these. They're sitting over here collecting dust. Sorry if you missed those. But no, you're right. I mean, shout out Griffin Blade. Mandalorian comes out. Season 3 is coming out December 25th. You've got the Book of Boba Fett coming out on the 28th of
Knights
December.
of the Old Republic remake coming out.
Yup.
Yeah.
And then of course,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we've got a lot of really great content. And the one thing I forgot to call out in Tatooine Rhapsody was the fact that it was Boba Fett trying to hunt down some of these people in
Chibi
that
Boba
episode.
Fett. He was
Little
so
Chibi
cute.
Boba Fett. Yeah, he was adorable, man. So like that to me was like, I hope that ties in somehow, and we just get like an emo like Jabba the Hutt, like in full breakup. That'd be great. But no, I'm excited about this because I think it's just season 1. I think they're talking about doing a season
That'd be
2,
cool.
but I don't know. If like butt plugs start going skyrocket sale, I don't know if
Could
House
you
of
imagine
Mouse
if they
wants to
did like
get in
one
on that.
about Revan in the exile? Like that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Like in this kind of story, if Trigger did a Darth Revan one, I'd be like, man, fuck it, let's go.
One thing I do want to gripe about, and then I'll move on. I swear. All right, in the Twins, there's a moment where they're literally in space fighting with no helmets on for like periods of time and speaking out loud with
They're
no
not
helmets
human.
on in space
They're
for
not
periods
human.
of time. And then one kid can sit on an X-wing at full speed and then go into light speed without a helmet on.
They're
This
pure dark side energy.
this
What?
was the moment I texted Dom and I was like, "Are these canon?" Because something real crazy just happened.
And then the one kid, he flips on the lightsaber and it's as big as like the Empire building. Well, yeah, it's just cutting through a spaceship like butter. I'm glad it was still the same animation from Jesus, not Return of the Jedi, or not Return of Skywalker, but it was the goddamn 8th one.
The Last Jedi.
That's it.
Yeah.
Where they blast a ship with another ship. Light speed.
Oh, that was sweet as fuck. Yeah, with the
It
chick
was the
from
same in,
Jurassic Park.
yeah. Yeah. With purple pink hair. Yeah.
Griffin
Exactly.
says, "I mean,
Yes.
Leia space flu is canon, so yeah, that's
She
true."
Yeah,
flew, but she was
you're
slowly
absolutely
freezing
right,
to
Griffin.
death.
You're absolutely right. Okay,
At least her
these
eyes were
two children
bloodshot.
were born of the
Right.
dark side. They're not even human. They can be in space. It's fucking Star
It's
Wars.
yeah, but I say it's anime Star Wars. Don't assume rules.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Physics aren't a thing.
Man, I really want a real Umbrella lightsaber. That's all I'm really hoping for.
That was episode 1.
Yes.
Okay, listen.
That's good stuff, man. I love it. All right, next up, I have not seen this. I do not care about spoilers, but I'm going to go ahead and keep the flag on. Spoiler alert!
Do not spoil this show for me, Mike Mahaffey. I will kill you.
All right, can I gravy roll this with what our previous guest, Sam, our spooky correspondent, said about this? Just a little something, something. Let me see.
We're talking about Midnight Mass, by the way, for those of you who are
Midnight
listening.
Mass. Sorry, guys. We're talking about Midnight Mass. This quote from Sam. Midnight Mass is Mike Flanagan's best work, hands down. The best part is the trailers never gave anything away. Netflix is stepping up its horror game, and Flanagan is the one leading the charge. I'd have to agree in general. I've already heard about how this Midnight Mass ties into the movie Hush that Mike Flanagan did.
Right. So
even
there was a
like-
scene where one of the actresses showed a book that was titled Midnight Mass, written by another actor in the movie. It was Katie Siegel, the actress Katie Siegel in Hush, wrote this book called Midnight Mass in the movie Hush, which
From
is
Married with
crazy.
Children fame.
Yeah, no, that's
That
Same
is
name.
Katie Siegel.
same name.
It's a different Kate Siegel.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
different Kate Siegel.
Yeah, actually, I love that. By the way, in Hollywood, it's how they differentiate people. Like, you can't have the same name. So, like, that's why, like, the Freddie Prinze Jr., you can also be Freddie Prinze Jr. You'd have to be like Freddie Prinze the Third, or like Kate Siegel or Katie Siegel.
That's why
It's so
Michael
stupid.
Keaton is Michael Keaton, because his real name is Michael Sheen.
That's why David Tennant is David Tennant, because there was another David MacDonald.
His
Interesting.
name is really David MacDonald?
Yeah, he's
Wow.
Scottish.
He's Scottish. He's
MacDonald.
super Scottish.
Couldn't tell.
Stuff. I digress. But yeah, that's
Sam
how the
says
sad
that,
difference
that
is.
Bev Keane is the best written character he's ever done. Bev Keane in the show is incredible, and I have a lot to say about it, but I can't.
Yeah, I would really
You know-
appreciate it if you don't. Like, I mean, I haven't
Look,
watched it.
look. This is what I'll say. I'm
It
not going to
just
spoil it.
came out.
Right. I'm not going to spoil it. The setup is that there's this community on this island. It's about 130 people total population, like a super small town. Everybody knows everybody. Something happens to one of the characters on the mainland. It's back to the island, and a mysterious priest shows up to lead the congregation, and nobody knows where this priest came from. There's a mystery
Listen,
surrounding the
Hawkins,
priest.
real quick. No, I see Ernie's face. I didn't spoil Shang-Chi at all.
I haven't
And
seen
still haven't.
anything from this
And
except for
and still
one clip,
haven't.
and it's because it
So
was like
nobody
somebody.
spoiled this.
Look,
Um,
man, I have to stop going on TikTok now because of spoilers, and two of them today. One yesterday was from this, and they were like deducing who did something to a thing, and 2 minutes later, a mutual friend of ours on Twitter who used to work at the fruit stand with us said, "Oh my God, I can't believe they killed the dog." And I even went to the website, doesthedogsurvive.com or whatever, to see if the dog makes it.
What
Like,
dog? God
Don't worry
damn
about it.
that's what I'm saying, dude. I have two dogs. I am a dog. Like, there's cat people, there's dog people. I'm a dog.
Look,
And
listen.
Sam,
Okay.
When
stop,
dogs die,
stop.
I die.
Sam,
So,
stop. Stop.
So, Sam Heaves in the chat is just going hard. Say it.
Look,
Flanagan's wife, proselytized.
Stop
Oh.
antagonizing him.
there's a pretty incredible mystery that has supernatural elements, but also there's this undertone of religion and how it affects a society. There's a heavy Christianity population on the island, but also there's
Talk
a
about
Muslim.
my boy Rahul.
He's the only Muslim on the island. So I mean, and he has this
Sheriff,
amazing,
though. I mean,
yeah, but he has this amazing monologue about what it means to be Muslim in America, and it's wonderful. And when it comes to
isn't
the
he British though?
yeah, but here's the thing: if you're gonna watch it, and you know Rahul Kohli, he has an
originally
American
from
accent.
iZombie, right? No?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
where he became famous on the
Yeah,
CW
yeah,
iZombie.
yeah.
And
He has an American accent in this, which throws you off because he's like 2 steps away from Cockney most of the time. So,
Also being a massive troll on Twitter.
Yeah.
Which I fucking love.
oh, he doesn't give a shit. I definitely
Not
follow
even
him.
one
He gives zero
bit.
fucks.
He does not care.
Like if you're on there and you're jabbing at him, he'll be like, "Look
You're a
behind me at
cunt.
the field in which I throw my fucks, and notice that it is bad."
Let me wipe my ass with my exclusive Air Jordans. He's the guy that's like, look, Ma, there's poor people around.
Hide your money, y'all. That's poor people around. I love that shit. I digress. All right, so I'll read the synopsis and then we'll get the fuck out of here before Dom or Sam, looking at you, Purple Heart in the chat, spoils anything else.
Sam, I'm going to talk to you, Sam. I'm going to talk to you later, Sam.
Yeah, let's just have a split conversation. Let's have a split conversation for the rest of the episode. Happy and Sam in chat. The three of us just talking over them. The series is about a small, isolated island community whose existing divisions are amplified by the return of a disgraced young man and the arrival of a charismatic priest. Boom and done. And now
So
one more
good.
spoiler alert, because I actually did watch this one. Oh, it looks like Sam's ready to talk tomorrow, big dog. I'm at the binge it tomorrow. So when you guys are in our group Slack, just chatting it up about it, I'll be ruined. Looks like we're not sleeping
I
tonight.
guess I'll have to watch it all tonight.
It's a slow burn, but it's so worth it.
That's why I hate it. That's why I hate it. This week on Marvel's What If proves that, to me, Avengers Infinity War could have been really, really quick.
I didn't watch this yet, so don't talk about it. I'm just kidding. You can talk about it.
I'm going to talk about it. Spoiler alert. I'm moving right along.
Spoiler alert.
I'm letting you know, the second Thanos shows up and Vision is almighty Ultron himself and just slices him in half with the Mind Stone, I'm like, where
Within
was
like
that?
2 seconds.
Yeah, like it's just like immediate evisceration. What the? So many people could have not died. The blip would have never happened. Just like, but I digress. This episode, I think, is setting up for the rest of the episodes and a little bit more of the MCU because we know this is canon to all the movies and TV shows. All the different timelines kind of branching out from this one nexus point in the show Loki. Spoiler alert there. But that's why the flag's up. Spoiler alerts all around. In this episode, this is what would have happened if Ultron had actually beaten the Avengers and won. So what we see is that Ultron does get his Vision body. He does get the Mind Stone. He exerts all of that power and basically subjugates Earth. Then he goes and starts taking over all the other planets. And along the way, Thanos comes a calling for the Mind Stone, which he gets just sliced and diced and julienne fried. And all of a sudden, in this picture, we see the ultimate Ultron body. He's got this, basically this whole entire exoskeleton looks like Ultron with a vision body on the inside that can contain the power of all the Infinity Stones and makes him pretty much the ultimate being. And then he becomes so powerful and ultimate that he starts to actually hear the Watcher. And the Watcher is sitting there narrating about the fact that he can hear the Watcher and doesn't quite get it right away, like, oh no, he can hear me. I'm definitely right. And all of a sudden, Ultron starts trying to find this being that he hears, and panics and things ensue. Suddenly, Ultron and the Watcher start battling it out because Ultron does eventually find him, and they just start blasting through different dimensions in their fight. One of them being Mustafar in Star Wars. You get to see Vader's castle in the background as they ripple through realities. Super great, nice little nod to once again the House of Mouse owning everything. It was definitely a fun episode, but I think it's going to set up a little bit more as far as this multiverse is pretty fragile. It is brand new, based off of the events from Loki, so I'm curious how that's going to tie in with Loki season 2 and all these other different storylines. Plus, we got the Multiverse of Madness coming up. I'm not going to say anything about any of the spoilers I saw today, but I'm assuming those are going to tie in too. We've got this whole card deck that's now just being shuffled. Once upon a time, they were all in order, and we all knew what was going on. And now with this latest phase, we get to start playing with time as well as space, and a little bit of tweaking there. So we could introduce, obviously, the MCU to the X-Men universe coming up, and then you're thinking about the Fantastic Four. So we're definitely setting up for all bets being off, right? Like you can't say, oh, I know for a fact this is what's going to happen, because now the rules don't matter. This is like Whose Line Is It Anywhere? The points don't matter. You don't win because you're the funniest, and everything's made up. Yep. It's go time. I'm excited about it.
I can't wait for the X-Men to join the Marvel universe.
That was like me sending a long text message in a paragraph.
And just
how
responding,
I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, just the letter K.
Okay.
K. And which I will always reply potassium to from here on out.
No, I legit haven't seen this yet, but I've read everything about it, and everything that Marvel is doing right now, setting up like what you said, the multiverse of everything that's going on, and this being the penultimate episode of What If, and tying that really into what is going on in the MCU at this point is really exciting. We had Shang-Chi that came out that really kind of kicked off the next phase of the Marvel movies, as Black Widow was kind of like a swan song to the old phase because, spoiler alert, she died in Endgame. So she's not around anymore.
The flag's there. The flag's there. Spoiler alert.
By the way, there was an inverse scene in this episode where she's holding on to Hawkeye.
Died? Yeah,
where Hawkeye's like,
awesome.
just let me go.
Yeah.
Just let me go. I don't want to do this anymore. And it's actually incredible because he spins in the air, and it's almost like the Valkyrie scene in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, where they're fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like
spins around and he shoots this like basically a bomb at all these Ultron bots. And it's the Hawkeye we should have gotten in the MCU. He's got an Ultron arm, like they Green Arrowed him essentially.
Nice. Hell yeah!
He's incredible in this episode.
That's exciting.
It's even still voiced by Jeremy Renner, which is always great. I love when the actual actor gets to come back and play their cartoon counterpart. I think whoever did the David Spader voice was awful. He was not ultra. He didn't have the bravado in his voice.
The James Spader voice was actually the guy who played Red Skull in Infinity War.
Ross
Endgame.
Marquand.
Yeah.
Ross Marquand. He does
from
a whole bunch of
from Walking Dead. Aaron from Walking Dead, right? Yes.
Yeah. Aaron from Walking Dead.
Yes. He's known for doing different accents.
Yeah.
And he does a really good German one with Red Skull. So.
Yeah.
He sounds like Hugo Weaving. Like he did sound just like Hugo Weaving.
He did a good job, but for that one, he didn't quite have the you could sex you up as Ultron.
I'm the fucking Lizard King. He didn't have that.
You don't even know my real name, right? Like just didn't have it. It wasn't there. But
I like the fact that Ultron is back. I loved James Spader as Ultron in Avengers. It was really cool. I really liked him as a villain. I know that it's like the weakest of the Avengers movies, but I really enjoyed that character.
They had a lot of setup to do.
I can't wait till Eternals comes out, man. Fuck, that movie's gonna be so cool. I'm ready for more MCU, man. Like I need it all. Give me Eternals. Give me Spider-Man: No Way Home. Give me Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness.
Give it to me now.
If
But I
fucking Tom
digress.
Holland shows up in Venom 2 tomorrow, I might piss my pants.
Oh shit, true.
If you spoil that tomorrow, and I swear to God it's not true, I'm gonna be so pissed. You just like, bro, it's Tom
Put
Holland.
it in. Just put it in.
Carnage is about to fucking kill Venom,
All-
and Tom
all of a
Holland comes
sudden-
in and he says,
Comes
"Hey
in,
everyone,
hey."
how's it going?"
Wow, this is
Venom's
just like
about
a
to kill
movie I once
Carnage,
saw.
and he goes, "Ooh,
Yeah.
I like this guy better than you, Eddie Brock," and just totally leaves Tom Hardy standing there with his dick in his hand, and then globs
That's
on to Tom Holland.
He does some fucking obscure '80s movie reference. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Did you ever see this movie with the dude from Lord of the Rings,
The
Goonies?
old movie.
Thanos was in that too.
Good old Josh Brolin. All right, sweet. So there you go. Spoilers are over, at least for a little bit. Guess what's not a spoiler? This week's sponsor, toughreps.com. That's right. Go to the store, toughreps.com. Pick out whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Supplements, pre-workout, t-shirts, belts. You got a knee that's got a problem with it, get that knee brace. You got a wrist that's jacked up from too many
What?
things, Dom, get that wrist brace.
Playing tennis,
Use code
obviously.
Joystick Mavericks at checkout
Yeah,
and
tennis
get
wrist is a
10%
thing.
off. Yes, tennis wrist.
Yeah, tennis
Tennis
wrist.
wrist.
Yeah.
Practicing my wand motions for Harry Potter World.
Wingardium
It's
It's
Leviosa.
swish and flick, Ernie.
It's not Expelliarmus, it's Erectiarmus. Okay. Let it go.
And
Let
this is
it
how we
go.
get banned off Twitch.
Erectalamus.
But no, this does not categorize our sponsor, toughreps.com. Once again, use code Joystick Maverick at checkout for 10% off.
You know, thank you, Griffin Blade. Thank you. Whoa, putting Dom on blast. Okay, stop
On
putting
blast.
Dom on blast.
Whoa. Griffin,
You got
first
the
of
biggest
all,
wrist in the
mind
biz,
your own
dude. I
business.
can't help it.
Whoa.
Hey, don't attack our fan.
Yeah.
Second of all, where were you last week when I was just berated and I wasn't even here?
You
Listen,
are
Griffin Blade.
old.
We make the jokes. We make the jokes.
That's fair.
Oh, geez. Yeah. And once again, Happy, I'm sorry for not being able to stop ourselves from giving you, low blows, even though we couldn't give you birthday punches. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, I thought you were
That's
going
how
to
we
say
show
birthday
our
banners.
It landed.
Yep.
It landed, Ernie. I'm with you. It
You saw I did it.
Yeah, it
I
landed.
waited till the
You
end.
brought it in.
I told you earlier. And I did it.
Yeah,
I
brought
landed
it
it.
in.
Fucking
I
landed,
landed.
bro.
All
I
right. Now,
love it. Mahaffey's
The-
old as fuck. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that
this
the
week's
Jared
final
Leto
round.
Joker from?
All right, this week's
I'll
final
be the
round.
bigger
The
man.
reason we're all here is not because Mahaffey's getting older, because we all are. But here it is.
Day by day.
Super cool in the hood.
Hey, What
Wah,
up,
wah, wah,
friend?
wah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Boom! I didn't really have a great picture of you, but this one is definitely my best one.
That is a
Um,
fantastic picture. Thank you.
Yes, you look just as crazy as I think you are. I gotta give a shout out to our guy, Hey O'Shawn, for introducing you and us together, because that's
Yeah.
really where I think it all stemmed from. This is definitely, this has definitely been fun. I know you've talked with Mahaffey, so I'm gonna let him kind of lead the way on this. You are a savant in many things I don't understand, but I think that
Oh.
we're all gonna appreciate talking about today.
That's so sweet of you. Savant is such a kind word.
Well-
I have many years of college education and sweat and tears.
Well, when my piano playing is just the extent of from Ghostbusters,
I mean, honestly,
they
They
hate
hate that. They hate that.
this is gonna get so interesting, I think. No, for sure. Yeah. Hi, my name is Soup. I'm the other voice, the fourth voice. Yeah, I stream on Twitch. I write music like crazy. And that picture is I was trying out a beer that I believe was called a Steamworks beer, and it had this really cool graphic on the front. And at the time, I was working on my evil steampunk doctor outfit cosplay, and so those were my goggles that sat on my hat. So that's a picture from my undergrad in college, like 10 years ago.
Still works. It still works today. It holds up.
Yep, it's a good picture, for sure. Yeah, but I'm happy to talk about thank you so much, Heyo, for introducing us. And I was so happy to be here for the first podcast that I was here where you guys were talking about Motomancers and games and game music. A huge passion of mine is, of course, writing music, and not just writing game music, but also writing what would you call it? Music for listening, pop music, as well
listening.
as yeah, music for listening, right? Exactly.
There's other ways to get music.
Yeah,
no,
right.
Music for eating.
Music for playing, music for gaming, music for studying.
See how he made you
also,
feel like an idiot, Ernie?
He did really good. Again, savant.
No, whoa.
I was trying to work in a Mitch Hedberg joke where he said, "Oh, people are like, I hear music." I'm like, "Oh, do you think you're special?" Like, that's how I hear music too.
That's how I take in music
With
too.
these
That's how
ears.
I take in music too. Yeah.
But also music education. Music education is like a big tenet of mine and my life and my goal. Doing content creation and doing music creation, because even with your two fingers, you could totally write a song with two fingers. You kidding me? What a cool challenge that would be, to pull out a piano and try to write a song using two fingers. That's all I'm saying. And you could do it. You could do it with little to no knowledge of how a piano actually works, and what the notes are and what harmonies are supposed to sound like. You could write something really excellent just using your ears, because everybody's got them. Everybody's got ears, and everybody has a musical preference. So why couldn't you write a piece of music using your two fingers and the ears on your head? You know?
Nice.
Absolutely.
So that's I feel really strongly about that, and that's, I try to preach that on my channel and in my spaces and with my community, that like, really, if you wanted to take the time to learn and to do the thing, like, you could do it. You just got to take the time to do it. But yeah, I did bring to this a couple of projects that I'm working on, and we can hit some talking points in those projects that I've been working on. If you guys
real
wanna
quick
hear about
before,
those.
yeah, absolutely. But before we get into that, can you talk a little bit about, like, I think something a lot of people who probably don't understand is playing music, teaching music, and composing music are all almost completely different skill sets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because they're all connected by music doesn't mean that the craft is anywhere close to being similar.
Sure.
So can you talk a little bit about basically switching from performing, teaching, to composing, and gaining the knowledge that you have when it comes to composition, when, if I understand correctly, you were mostly a performer and a teacher, and then started composing on Twitch.
What a great question, Michael.
That's a great question.
What a great question.
That's why you're
They're being so nice to you right now.
And
really
I can't
suspicious.
stand it. I can't stand it. When they're nice.
Hey, you want me to do some more shit jokes? No.
You
All right, I'm turn my camera
coming
off.
out your arse, right? Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I do come from a performance background. In college, I studied to be a trumpet player. I have a master's degree in trumpet performance. That's my big educational background. My whole goal going through college, and really even as far back as high school, was to become a symphony player, to play in a symphony orchestra professionally, and make my main living playing in a symphony orchestra. Getting out into the, like, quote, real world out of college and discovering what the job field was like and what careers in music looked like, I found that I had to shift. Right? Like many of us do going into college, you have these high aspirations for what you want to do. And you should, when you're going to college, have those really high aspirations, of course, because why else are you going to study anything than to become the best at your thing? But I came out of college and I went into music business, and I sold instruments, sold trumpets for a living for 5 years. And then I finally caught a kind of a break coming back to California to do some performing. I won a job with a local symphony. I play principal trumpet, which is the first trumpet position, the top trumpet position in the symphony. So that's I've been yeah. No, just brag, please. I'm a trumpet player. Let's go.
Yes, I am a trumpet player.
I am in that orchestra, in that particular orchestra.
I mean, people talk about downtown, like Compton being like, Crips and music school, trumpet players, saxophone players, that they're all different gangs.
Yeah,
and they all have different personalities. Like, as a group, they have a different personality.
Yeah, there are big stereotypes. Yeah, well, a lot of the times, so that's the big struggle with a lot of conservatories. Like, if we're going to get into that, the problem with a lot of music conservatories is that they're ultra competitive. Like everybody is, it's cutthroat. People are trying to take each other out. I didn't have a conservatory experience. I went to music school, like, which is different than conservatory. I went to music school where people were cooperative and building each other up and practicing together and looking forward to each other's success. It was a big molding moment for me in what could have been a more competitive field. But switching over a little bit, so I've always been a performer. That's always been a part of my personality ever since I was a kid, performing in choirs and being in front of people. That's come to me from a very young age. I also always knew that regardless of my performance career, there was going to come a time when I would want to teach and pass on what I knew. So I always took classes, and I always went to schools that were geared towards educators as well. So music education and sharing that love of music with younger folk and older folk and everyone in between has always been a big part of my life, because I feel like music is great to listen to, but really for its own sake, music is sort of lackluster. You know, you can write a piece of music and it can be really lovely to listen to and it can survive hundreds of years, and that's really great. But what is it doing? What is it doing to change people's lives? You know, what is it doing to lift people up other than in that moment going, I connect with this beautiful sonorous sound? Education, I feel like, is where you can connect with people, with real people, and help them change their lives for the better. And really improve their vocabulary and improve their understanding, and connect them more with this modern soundscape. And I think that it's really important. And you know, I've tried to start up and kick up podcasts to do just this as well, which have flopped, but maybe someday. I'll come back to you guys and I'll advertise that. Yeah, absolutely.
We did
we'll
this
let
5 years ago. We know.
Yeah. Been there. You always start up projects, and then so hopefully something catches. Music is all around us all the time. It's in movies, it's in video games, it's at the shopping mall, it's in restaurants. There is always a track playing. I feel like you cannot travel anywhere in public without there being some level of background music. And I think that it's really important for us as listeners, as people who are active in those environments, to pay attention to that a little bit, to bring some of that in and go, oh, I remember this day in this mall listening to this song. Like, oh yeah, that's right, this song was playing when we saw your wedding dress for the first time. Or I remember that this song was playing on my way to my first child being born. Like that's the kind of richness that we can tap into because music is so ubiquitous. And having an education in music just helps deepen that richness. So it's always been so important to me that that I, with college education and knowing what I know about music, goes out. I go out and I teach people what I can, even if it's at the most basic level or if it's at a very advanced level. Any more richness that you can derive from those memories and from that nostalgia, I feel like is just going to be a boon to your existence. So this is
Jesus Christ, I love
I have thought a lot about this.
I'm going to get somebody to transcribe everything you just said, and we're going to make a manifesto.
Right.
Please.
And what I find interesting about specifically when you're talking about music playing in the background of basically every place we are is if you've ever taken a movie scene and taken the music out of it, it destroys the scene.
It's completely different. Well, and movie composing is so cool because movie music is not just this is why I make a differentiation between like listening music and other music that's supposed to make you feel something. Movie music is special and challenging to write because you need to make the listener feel. And moving someone from unfeeling to feeling is hard. It is very difficult.
I mean Sean just said in the chat, ears never blink. So, that's a great point. I mean, they're always on. And a good example of that and how that works and doesn't work is the first Suicide Squad versus the second Suicide Squad, right? The first Suicide Squad studio got a hold of it and just threw a bunch of like music in the middle of it. It was like, it worked for Iron Man, and it didn't work. right? Like
For sure.
just loud music for no point doesn't make any sense. And then when you get to like something that the second one with James Gunn, an orchestra scale actually does come into play, and it does add value.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
just
and the
take
reason
"Don't Stop Me Now" from Shaun of the Dead. Like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
does that make you feel? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, yeah,
Joy.
but it's slapstick and it's so good, right?
Yeah.
And the reason that the brazen pop music, the brazen rock works so well in Iron Man is because Tony Stark's a dick.
Yeah.
He's an asshole, right?
Yeah.
And
He is Iron
it
Man.
plays up that feeling. It plays up that bravado, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an ego piece, right? Like
Yeah.
he lands
Oh,
in
yeah.
the middle of a town that has been overrun by the 10 rings and just shoots a little rocket that blows up an entire building. He's dealing with his ego.
Right.
But to kind of circle back to talking about composing with two
Yes.
fingers,
Yeah.
in Midnight Mass, no spoilers, Dom.
Where is it? Where's my button? Spoiler alert.
There's this. It's not a phenomenon, but in horror music, for horror movies, there's a lot of the jump scare isn't just what you see visually; it's what you
Yeah.
hear.
It's the
And
ear candy.
Literally,
Yeah.
it's one cello note that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, "Oh my!" And like that affected me way more than what I was seeing on the screen. Was
Yeah.
the sound
Like
of this.
the Quiet Place, right? I mean, same kind of thing. Most of
Yeah.
the movie, dead
No
silent,
music.
and then you're like,
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's so effective. It's so effective. The second you steal music away from movie and visual media, it becomes a very different ball game. Absolutely. But yeah, so I did. That's all my formal education. My formal education is in trumpet performance and music education, and that's what I studied in college because I was preparing myself for life, right? And then COVID hit. And who's prepared for COVID? Nobody
No
was
one.
prepared for COVID.
Ernie
You
was.
were prepared for Ernie.
introverts,
Yeah.
introverts, hermits.
Like, this is lovely. I love this
I
so
can't
much.
wait to cancel all my plans, and I have a great
Let's
excuse.
go. I'm out of here. I don't want to
can't
get sick
make it.
today.
Oh, jeez. God. No,
Yeah.
to your point, nobody was. Nobody.
Nobody was. Well, yeah, sure. And nobody was. And my wife and I certainly weren't. All of our, basically 80% of our income was playing gigs. We were just out. We were playing musicals. I was going up and playing with the orchestra. We were playing quintet gigs and playing ballets and things like that. And then suddenly there was no work. Suddenly
Right.
there was zero work for us. And nobody was calling and telling us that there was no work. They just stopped responding to emails and calls and texts because they were dealing with so much of that on the side. So we retooled. And that's the story of my compositional life, is that we retooled. My wife went into making resin crafts and working on art that she could sell on Etsy and now on her own website, madebykaylin.com.
Shout out to your shirt.
There you go. Shout out your shirt.
Yes, the
You
shirt.
said,
Got
you
a shirt
said.
made by Kaylin.com. If you want to have my face a whole bunch on your body,
I
that's
do.
$40. It's very, very soft.
I'm so excited for like 2 episodes from now when we're all wearing that.
Wearing the soup face shirt, please. Thank you, Griff. I appreciate you.
There you
Griffin
go.
Blade 77 is a moderator in my channel, and so he's got
Yes, great
got
job,
all of
Griff.
these links on demand. So while my wife was doing this, I switched over to doing Twitch full time because I had the time and I wasn't making any money anyways. So I might as well do this thing that wasn't making me money anyways and see if I could make some money doing it. And so I did Twitch and I was doing the entertainment thing for a while. And I had a bunch of friends tell me, like, what are you doing with music? What are you doing with music during COVID? What is your trumpet just collecting dust? Like, are you playing anything? Are you performing anywhere? And the answer to that question was really no, I wasn't. And things were collecting dust. And I was really depressed. And it was really, really bad. So I started to do fanfares in my channel. I started to record fanfares for my subscribers, which then turned into starting to do trumpet recitals on stream once a month. And that like brought the performance aspect back. And then just for fun, one day, I decided to ask the community. I said, community, wonderful people who watch this channel, could you bring me random sound clips from your house? Just go out with your phone, record something from your house, bring those recordings to me. We're going to turn it into a song. It's just going to be this silly thing. I called it a 3-hour songwriting challenge. And I took all of those in and I made a little 1.5-minute long song, and it was dorky and it was fun, and everybody was like, "You did what in 3 hours? Can you do that again next week?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it again next week. Sure. What should we do next week?" And it just started, right? And it just took off from there. I did dubstep, I did EDM, I did, like all of the easy electronic ones because those are the tools that I had. And then we did a song that was only trumpet sounds, and we did a song that was kitchen sounds, and we did a song that was like, and it just took off. And I was writing at least one track per week in 3 hours. And I was just slowly honing this skill of writing music really fast. Not necessarily well produced, not necessarily well balanced. Yoko Kanno, in the style of Yoko Kanno, I wrote a little trumpet piece that was based on Goodnight Julia. Based on that style. That's up on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/SoopurKul. Thank you. I did a J-Rock. I did a K-pop song, Strawberry Lemonade, out on Spotify. Can I describe what fanfares are? Yes. So for my subscribers on my Twitch channel.
That's a great. I was gonna think like fanfares. I was thinking Ren fairs. I didn't know if they were the same.
Yeah.
I didn't know people dressed up and showed up, or
So a fanfare is just, I mean, in kind of the trumpet nomenclature, it's just, da da dum dum dee. That's a fanfare, right?
Oh,
or
a fanfare.
Dum da dum dum dee.
What
Whatever.
song at the end of a Final Fantasy fight?
Sure,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah,
It's totally a fanfare. That is a victory fanfare. That's what I would call a victory fanfare. So what I did was I was just like, if you throw me a subscription, you get emotes, you get, whatever, you don't have to see ads, but then also you get a personalized fanfare. I'm going to record it on my trumpet. You tell me what style you want it in. It's 8 to 13 seconds or something like that. And when you come into my chat, you have a fanfare that you roll into. And so there are people that have, like, Hey Sean's fanfare is from Tank, right?
I was gonna say
from Cowboy Bebop. Yep.
Yeah.
Griffin Blade 77's fanfare is the beginning of Rhapsody in Blue. Right? So these fanfares are really fun for people, of course, who are having the fanfares. They get to have an identifier. But it's also really fun for me because I get to go like, oh, I know exactly who just came into the chat. Like, Hey Sean just rolled in. I know that fanfare. Griffin Blade 77 just rolled in. I know that fanfare.
And again, I'm feeling like Ren Fair again, where they announce Lord Baby and his Lady Margolian just rolled.
That's so true. So true. Well, and who doesn't want to feel like royalty rolling in?
We just talked about WWE wrestlers from the 90s.
Yes.
You can't tell me their fanfare when they show up. It's John Cena. Oh my.
Oh, Dom's triggered.
Yeah, right.
Dom's triggered.
I'm
He
sorry.
hates John
I hate
Cena.
John Cena. I'm
You
sorry.
know why? Because he culturally appropriated this song from you?
Oh, no. I mean, it's true.
Well, he is now
I had to
Hispanic,
think
right?
about that for a second.
Because of his Norwegian heritage and then also Hispanic heritage in the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
Oh, he adopted it like family.
But I've always been interested in that journey from Granger to Gourds and Chords. It's
What?
like,
Okay, what is a
Whoa,
Granger?
whoa.
Thank
Don't
you.
use, don't
Okay,
use
we're
slang
not all
terms.
music people.
Percy Aldridge Granger is
It's
an
my
English
favorite.
composer, an English-American composer, who wrote really fun, folky kind of sounding works for wind band. Granger wrote a piece called Molly on the Shore, which just feels like an Irish jig. Just feels like light and dancing like an Irish jig. He wrote so many pieces, and he wrote them while he was walking from what is now like New York City to like what is now, I don't know, Virginia. Walking. He would just write these things while he was taking these long days, weeks long walks. And they're just stellar. And that's Percy Aldridge Granger. Just
didn't
a
have
nut.
like a dating life. He was just like
That was Oh no, I
Yeah.
actually don't know if he had. He may have been married. I'm not sure.
I'm going
He
out
may
for
not
a walk.
like his wife very much. Yeah, exactly. His
I'm
wife
out.
was like, "See you in 2 months." It's good. Gourds and
Tell
Chords
Henry
is
he's
an
gone.
album. Yeah, exactly. Gourds and Chords is an album that I came out with 2 weeks ago, which is a lo-fi album, so lo-fi tunes to study to. It's a lo-fi album that I wanted to make sound like fall, like autumn. And I sort of wanted to. So this is always my passion in composition, is telling a story or evoking a feeling or an image or something like that. There are lots of people who I think write music with lyrics, and they're trying to speak a message. And I think with my music, I'm trying to show a message, like something that you hear and you go, oh, that is undeniably a leaf falling from a tree.
So
Just
something like a
wafting gently
dirge or
down.
like a funeral song would be more autumn feeling, like more your
That's wintry to me.
October is tomorrow, so spooky
Um,
season is upon us.
It's true.
That's
It's
where my
true.
brain goes. Or
But
it's
you
like
can
twinkling
tell.
woodwinds is like winter and Christmas. Like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
bright and
Yes.
joyful and yeah.
Absolutely. No, you're totally right. Yeah, when we think of winter, we think of high flutes and oboes and clarinets. When we think of spring, we think of sweeping strings, pulling long phrases. When we think of summer, we don't think of orchestral music. When we think of summer, we think of pop. We think of Justin Timberlake. We think of I don't know. We think of K-pop. Like, we think of things that are going to lift us up, get us off of our ass into the beach, right? If you have a beach
Crow.
nearby. I'm from.
Cheryl Crow.
So
Liza
the point.
Minnelli, everybody.
Shania Twain. All you want to do is have some fun.
Yeah, that's the
Can't
feeling
repeat
of
that.
summer, is being light and having fun. Perfect. So this album, Gourds and Chords, is supposed to exemplify fall. So you have to ask yourself, compositionally, what sounds like fall? What sounds both cool, like temperature cool, but also warm enough that you're comfy to, go outside in shorts, but like you're wearing a sweater? What sounds like the leaves changing colors? What sounds like snow beginning to fall at the end of autumn? What kind of sounds do you pull in? What kind of feels do you pull in to make those things happen? And I think that Gourds and Chords nails at least one time. There's
I like
at
your
least one
limited
song.
biases there. Like, I know I got it somewhere in that whole thing.
There is at least one song on Gourds and Chords that I think really exemplifies autumn well, and it's the very first song
Thanks, Mike.
on the album.
Throwing it in the
which
chat.
is- Yes.
Bandcamp.com. There you go.
Thank you. Which is
Nice.
just called Autumn Breeze. The first track is called Autumn Breeze. Track one slaps super hard, not just because I played on it. Yes, it's true. So I had a lot of help.
Oh, there you go.
I had a lot of help, which is fun.
Griffin
Blade
Blade.
77.
I know him in real life, IRL. He's a brisk gentleman, so that makes perfect sense. Shorts and sweater, that's brisk for me. Lipton iced tea brisk.
Ooh,
Well, I
yes.
don't know if you've said the most like impressive thing about the album, which is you did it all in a week.
Yes. Oh, yes.
What?
True.
What
I
are you,
just
Kanye
really like
West?
it.
I just never left the studio, and I was on
I
shrooms the whole
didn't.
time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't leave the studio that whole week. Yeah, I started on Sunday night during a 3-hour songwriting challenge. And just during stream, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I churned out 6 tracks total. Spent a little bit of time off stream just doing some mastering and some mixing stuff, which is always a little more granular, not as entertaining to watch per se, but is important. But yeah, I wrote it all in the span of 7 days, because realistically, like, I did write the bulk of it in 4 days, but I did production in between on every day, and
crazy.
making sure that everything sounds good. So yeah, I had a lot of help. Griffin Blade 77 played some drums on it, which were much needed, because MIDI drums just don't compare to real drums. I'm sorry. You can make a really solid MIDI drum and it still just doesn't compare to a real drummer. Hey Oshan played some cello on it. There's cello on the last track. That's Hey Oshan. It
Cello.
is so good.
Turn to the side, and you got Mahaffey's bass.
This way. That's true. And Andrew Composer, who's another wonderful composer, writer of video game music and pop music, came in with a little guitar on the first track. And the guitar part on the first track is just like, oh my God. It is so good. He was like, "Hey, can I lay down some guitar?" And I was like, "Here, what do you need? What do you need? Take this, take this 2 minutes of the demo. Here you go. It's an E minor. Like, what else do you want? Like, please write something and send it to me." And what he did was just so good. And it really, I made the joke on stream that night, but it was like a good rug. It really tied the room together.
There you go. You weren't
Cool.
even on Jeffrey at the time.
No.
Get him to the Greek. This ball feels so amazing. Oh my god.
No, but I was sipping. What's the drink that the dude sips? Gosh, it's not coming to me. It's all good.
So
it kind of brings us.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it kind of brings us full circle to you.
You have some projects you want to kind of walk through a little bit?
Yeah. So Gourds and Chords was one of the projects that I was going to talk about. Gourds and Chords, and I wanted to talk about Minstrel's Tales. Minstrel's Tales is a project that Griffin Blade 77 and I have been working on for the last year or so. We have 2 sets out so far, but basically what they are is it's video game assets. If you are someone who is out there wanting to create a video game, and you don't have the skill or the time to create your own music or create your own art, we're creating packs of art and music assets for use in video games that are cohesive and work together. So we've put out 2 packs so far, with like a generalized pack that includes things like battle music and like overworld music. It's sort of all in the style of like an RPG, like a JRPG, a la Final Fantasy, Shining Force, things like what is it, like Breath of the Dragon, Dragoon. There are a whole bunch of like JRPGs that it's really kind of loosely based on. But I wanted to sort of like ask you all, when you're listening to pop music, versus listening to music for TV or movies or games, are you someone, like, I guess it's like a 2-parter, are you someone who buys the OST to a video game? And then second, how is your listening experience different between the two?
I mean, I worked at Barnes and Nobles for like a year, too long.
Long time.
In the DVD and music section, which meant I got a discount to those DVDs and music, and all I would buy was soundtracks.
Yeah.
I mean, just original motion picture soundtracks. It wasn't games necessarily, but the idea being the same. Those movies and those moments evoking emotion. Or if I was going to go running for an X amount of time, I would listen to the 300 soundtrack because it was just so epic. So many drums. It would
pump you up.
The guitar riffs in that were just so great. Things like that. So yeah, that definitely hits home for me. If I hear that Danny Elfman 1989 Batman.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I'm hyped up. Let's go. It's go time. Yeah, but
yeah, nice. So how would those do you find yourself going to movie music for things like that, or do you also pull from, like I said earlier, like Justin Timberlake or Kanye, or like to get you pumped up to work out? Like, do they hit you differently, or do they hit you about the same?
It depends. So like if I'm going to go to the gym or something like that, I'm going to listen to the song Every Day by Logic, right? I work hard every motherfucking day. I work hard every day. Right? So like that's kind of where my brain goes, like because rap music is, to me, a genre that gives you so much confidence. There is not really a rap song where like they're really sad and mopey. You know what I mean? There's nothing but hubris in every line in every rap song, and it's infectious. So that's why I listen to it. But that's me. I want to hear Dom and Mahaffey because I know their listening styles are definitely different than my own. So I want to.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go ahead, Dom.
You want me to go first? All right, that's fine. So, music is really important to me. As a medium, video game music in particular is really important. And I know that I'm about to drop some tracks that I know that you guys will know. Things like One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII, Dearly Beloved from Kingdom Hearts, to Xanark Hand from Final Fantasy X. All of those evoke different kind of emotions and times in my life.
Hmm.
So I find myself listening to a lot of those, especially when I'm working, whether I'm like doing coding or like I'm not in a meeting. I know that most of my work is mostly meeting based and project management and all of that. But whenever I'm not doing that, I listen to a lot of video game music. And I also listen to a lot of remixed video game music. I don't know if you've ever heard of Game Chops.
Ooh,
They
no.
did so Game Chops did like trip hop versions of Pokemon music and Legend of Zelda music. They have this really great version of Garuda Valley that I adore that I just put on repeat.
Oh,
But
hell yeah.
I'm also a huge hip hop head, and I'm also like, I mean, I grew up. My mom is a huge Wu Tang Clan fan. I'm a huge Wu Tang Clan fan. We have matching tattoos of
Hell
the Wu
yeah.
Tang
Let's
Clan.
go. Yeah.
Um, I love hip hop. And I've always been like that's the music that I listen to when I'm like Ernie said, like I'm ready to get amped up. Like I listen to um you know uh Baby Keem's album right before we started the show tonight because I needed to get like amped up and be like, all right, cool. Like I
Got
listen to
big
Kendrick
energy. Yeah.
Lamar when I'm about to go into a big meeting and I'm like,
That's
all right,
awesome.
cool. I need to like be an asshole and like, kind of strut my shit.
Yeah.
Um
It works. It works
but
so well.
on the movie side, like there like what you guys were talking about when it comes to composing music for movies, like it nothing hits me more than Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings score. I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
like, from soup to nuts, from Fellowship of the Ring to, Return of the King in the last scene of that movie. Like every single piece of that is identifiable. And also like things like John Williams and him being prevalent throughout all of media. And my wife, who is a huge fan of John Williams, can like pick out specific notes that he uses going from, something like Harry Potter, um, all the way to Star Wars and all of that. And it's just I all of that I love music. I do. I mean, I've never been musically inclined. I played clarinet in middle school and
Dope.
elementary school. I dabbled in the piano a little bit, but nothing crazy. But I have such a respect for, and this is the one time I will say something nice about Mike
Yes.
for
I'm putting this
musicians
on every
like
social media. So hold on.
you,
Start from the
like you,
beginning. Start from
super
the
cool,
beginning.
and Mike, that I can step in and learn just about anything, but what you guys do is magic. And you guys, I mean, Mike did our show, our
Ooh.
intro for the show in
Which is
like
so
fucking
good.
3 days, and it was so good. And now he's like taking that and he's like running with it and doing an album and all that shit. And I'm like so hyped
Let's
for it.
let's
And I'll
pump the
never
brakes
tell
on
him
that.
that.
Ooh.
Everybody pump the brakes
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
Ooh, spoilers!
All
Let me.
right.
Where's my banner?
I'm bugging
Spoiler
my
alert!
boy, Mike.
Spoiler
This is the
alert!
one time I'm gassing you up, dude.
Spoiler
I'm not
alert!
gassing you up
Yes.
anymore after this. But yeah, I mean, eh, I'll I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'll let Mike go, but I just wanted to say that's like, I mean, you guys are magicians in my book.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
Well said. Well said.
When it comes to my listening habits, I think I'm going to say what's the most obvious thing. It's something that has to grab me in some way, whether it's video game music, movie music, pop music,
Radiohead.
Radiohead. It's got to tell a story that I'm into hearing.
Yeah.
Um, for instance, the Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross kind of stuff that they put out, that kind of like atmospheric, electronic, to me, that you know, up until Social Network or whatever the first movie they did the soundtrack for, we got a lot of John Williams and Howard
Oh
Shore
yeah.
and Danny Elfman type of orchestral score, and then they come out of the gate doing this weird, dark, atmospheric, electronic
Yeah.
stuff.
Big synthy. Yeah.
Yeah, conveying a completely different feeling on a movie about Facebook, a silly movie that made it completely dark.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
good.
to me, the darkest one of the darkest scenes that I know of is when he's talking about like, are you paying attention? And he's like, I'm giving you the minimum amount of attention I can possibly give you, like that whole spiel. And I think a lot of that was supported by the work of Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. So, a lot of the stuff that kind of grabs me are it's like groove based. If the groove is tight and just killing, like the new Dua Lipa album kills me. I love it.
Dua Lipa.
I love
Dua Lipa.
I see you.
But also like dark stuff. What's the name of the track that when I got real mad at the fruit stand one night and we went to get Chinese food and I rolled up with the volume all the way up. What was the track?
Wasn't it the end is the beginning is the end?
The end is the beginning is the end.
From the Watchmen sound.
Oh, okay.
It's just this super dark, atmospheric, and it's just like, for me, if it makes me angry, I'm probably going to listen to it over and over and over again. Like if it fuels the dark side of me, because
remember when the Tron soundtrack came out? When we were all working together, we had that shit on repeat for fucking months.
Yep. So my listening habits really do revolve around whether it's telling a story that that connects with me. So regardless of like, video game or whatever that.
Right. What I'm hearing, and this is why I think that it's so cool that there's so much music that we can listen to, is that your favorite music, all of you, and I'm sure that this goes for a lot of people, is music that pulls you from one place and takes you to another place. Whether it's a new emotion, whether it's a story, whether it's nostalgia, which this is my forever soapbox. If nostalgia is your reason for liking something, that is a good reason to like something. Why the fuck wouldn't you like that thing for your nostalgic reasons? And anybody who tells you otherwise is wrong.
Hey, look at Dom's left arm. You might as well just call it his nostalgia arm.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Right. You flipped. Right arm.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Mario Brothers, Batman, 1987 Batman bat symbol, or 89 Batman.
All the good shit.
Yeah.
I live in the middle of the nostalgia. That's where my comfort zone is, which is why all my references are from the 90s.
Why do you think remakes in video games do so well?
So well. Oh my god.
But I still get upset about it because they don't need to redo it. In my brain, the graphics were amazing, even though they were just like barely polygons.
Knights of the Old Republic is going to sell gangbusters.
Oh my god!
I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
because of Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's be real.
Speaking of remakes, I know that Soup, you're doing Final Fantasy playthroughs.
Yeah.
Right. What did you coin? What was the phrase that you're using?
Oh, Final Fanthology.
Final Fanthology.
Yes.
Amazing.
Good
and you're on Final Fantasy 8. You've played through 1 through 7. And you played through the 7 remake, right?
What's your favorite one? Like, I want to know what your favorite Final Fantasy is.
So far, so I love 10 for nostalgia reasons.
Yeah, 10's great.
Because 10 was the first Final Fantasy that I actually played the whole way through. And just love the story and love the characters, love the music. To Xanderkind is so powerful.
Yeah, what
an amazing, powerful track. Well, and the fact that you hear it in the beginning and then you don't hear it, and then you hear it in the fucking middle. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, Nobuo Uematsu and the designers on that game just like woo. Hot damn. 6 probably
okay.
6
is great.
Is one of my favorites. 4 probably is also one of my favorites. I have a strange relationship with Final Fantasy 2 where I hated the mechanics. The mechanics and the leveling system in Final Fantasy 2 are awful.
I can't wait till you get to 9.
I'm very excited.
9's my favorite. I can't wait till you get to 9.
Heck yeah. I haven't played all the way through 9. I played the beginning of 9 like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But I've never played it the whole way through. I'm so stoked to play 9 because I know that 9 is a bunch of people's favorites. So Chad, I'm also
Griffin Blade is saying I am hyped for 9, and 6 is also his favorite. Fuck yeah.
Griffin Blade has been yelling at me for 9 and 12 and Tactics. those are the big
12
3.
is incredible. 9, the music, the beginning of that game's music, where it's just the beginning song when you get to the menu is just like it hits me right. 9 was the first one that I played all the way through. I played 9 and Legend of Dragoon together at the same time. And 9, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch you play that. That game is
Yeah.
so good. It hits all the marks.
Well, we just started 8 remake. Although I think that Mike was alluding to 7 remake and playing through all of the 7s. Were you gonna ask me for my thoughts on the 7?
Oh yeah,
remake, or-
yeah.
Yeah. So I played through, just as a sort of background, I played through the original Final Fantasy VII, and then I played Crisis Core. We watched Advent Children, and then I played Dirge of Cerberus before we got into the remake, so that I could
Dirge
have...
of Cerberus.
Yeah, Dirge of Cerberus. You know what? I
Vincent,
think the Dirge of Cerberus gets a bad rap. I thought that was a really
It's so
fun game.
good. It's like Devil May Cry Final
It
Fantasy. I'm
is,
with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The remake was so cool. They redid this intro sequence from the original Final Fantasy, and I put up the spoiler banner for me, because I dodged spoilers until like 2 months ago. But just the fact that they took this beginning that was already so iconic, and they redid it in such a way that it's not only like beautiful, but it's also more fleshed out, and you get all of this environmental detail that you sort of had to imagine, but now it's all out in the open, and you can see what the whole imagination of this was, and then they throw in the end. And it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get to play a new game with these characters. Let's go. I'm stoked. I know a lot of people are probably gonna harp on it because they want Final Fantasy VII, but really beautiful. And that's fine. You're allowed to want Final Fantasy VII, but really beautiful. But like, let the developers do a cool thing.
Yeah.
I want to see the new cool thing, and I'm a sucker for that. So, I didn't play, what was it, Intergrade? I didn't play that because I played it on PS4.
What'd you think of Advent Children? Advent Children was pretty dope, wasn't it?
I've watched Advent Children a bunch of times. Yeah,
So
it's like what a wonderful
beautiful
piece
movie.
of media. Yeah, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so good. Nomura just lied to us. That's all. I want to see what they do with it. Oh, sure. So Nomura was painting it as a direct 1-to-1 remake.
Yeah.
No, Nomura's writing in Final Fantasy games is a little hit and miss. Kingdom
How do you
Hearts is
think
a mess.
Do you think they're going to do that with Knights of the Old Republic remake?
Oh my god, I love Kingdom Hearts. I think Knights of the Old Republic is going to be 1-for-1.
Yeah, that I would be surprised if they went any
I think
other
just
direction with
Bioware's
that.
going to be like,
Bioware's going to be like, don't fuck this up.
Oh, Bioware.
I'm
that
looking
has
at
no
you,
room
bro.
to talk.
Right, Bioware has no room to talk. They did Mass Effect Andromeda and the endings of Mass Effect 3
so bad.
and
Yeah.
Anthem. But yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I played Final Fantasy VII. I've never played the original.
Mhm.
I only played Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus,
Mhm.
and I'm in the middle of remake right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
And I watched Advent Children. I saw it in theaters. I mean, I
Nice.
love
Hell
it.
yeah.
And the
jealous.
first time that you see Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII remake, I was like, oh baby.
Yeah. Let's go.
He's like-
the original.
He's
Go
so
ahead.
compelling as a villain. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of the Joker aspects where it's just sort of like
Mhm.
I have a motivation, but my motivation is really more to just destroy,
Yeah.
just generally destroy. There's a little bit of I don't really care what it is. I'm just gonna kill it. That Sephiroth has got, and that's badass, and that makes a really good villain. That's part of why Carnage is going to be such a cool villain, because Carnage is also just sort of want to see the world burn energy, right? Where I think that the unpredictability of a villain is really fun. It's really when the motives aren't super clear. Yeah, Sephiroth is really dope. And you should I always encourage playing the original games because the original games was like that's where all of these ideas cropped up. Final Fantasy VII as a Final Fantasy game is only okay. I think that it's got solid RPG mechanics. I think that it's got a leveling system. It's got characters in it that you like, and it's got a good story. Your Cloud kind of sucks as a main character, but what main character in a Final Fantasy series doesn't kind of suck?
Squall's not much better.
Yeah, no, Squall is way worse. Oh my god, Squall is so bad. I'm just playing through the beginning of Final Fantasy VIII right now.
Yeah,
And it's
he's
just,
terrible.
Oh god, he's so awful. But yeah, definitely, I highly encourage it. And playing through the Final Fantasies in order has been really fun, just because you get to see where things come from. Where does this enemy come from? Oh, for the first time that came out in Final Fantasy 2, and now we're seeing it in Final Fantasy 5, but with a reskin. It's really fun to do that kind of compare and contrast and look at the history there. So yeah, that's part of what I'm doing on my channel Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I mean, you're
on
doing
my
a
channel.
lot on your channel, and I wish we had more time to talk about it because when I would watch Twitch before, and this is you can make all the old jokes you want to make, but like if I wanted to watch the new raid or if I wanted to see somebody play through a new video game that I don't have time to play through, I would
Yeah.
jump on Twitch. When I started watching your
Yeah.
channel, you're doing so much different
Yeah.
things than that. So, if we had more time, I'd love to just kind of jump into some of the stuff that you're doing on your channel that's so, for me, awesome and just different than
you.
everything else I've seen on Twitch. So,
Go
you know,
watch them.
go watch Super Cool.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Actually, that's actually a good point. I do want to encourage you to come back on the show, give us an update on what's going on in your world. But I also want to kind of give you the opportunity here at the end of the showcase to kind of call out the things that can help you grow your channel. We've already talked about your shirt, it's dope. But also your move to Patreon. I think
Yeah.
that was something that Mike had brought up, and I think I've heard of some other streamers recently are talking about
Yeah.
similar moves, but more to like YouTube and things like that. But
Yeah.
what was the impetus to bring it all kind of home? What was the impetus there, and how can your viewers support what you're doing and encourage you to do more of it?
Yeah. So, to make a very long story short, I've been thinking about doing a Patreon for a while because I've been wanting to be able to produce more content that I want to make rather than content that is going to be mass entertaining. Like that's sort of always been my goal, is to write albums and to record things that I'm passionate about. So the move from having a Twitch based income to having a Patreon based income is that switch from doing things that are going to be more entertainment focused to doing things that are more personal passion project focused. And going over to Patreon is better money than Twitch. Now, the other part of this is that the reason that I made the switch when I made the switch is because Twitch has been really bad about protecting creators with all of these hate raids and all of this kind of bot nastiness that's been going on Twitch. So that's been going on concurrently, and it just made sense. It just was like, okay, let's move money away from Twitch to another platform that is not only going to be moving money out of Bezos's pocket, much love, Daddy Bezos, salute, but also is going to be moving more money into the pocket of the creator, because on Twitch, from a subscription, you get less than 50% of what a subscription is. People pay $5, you get $2.48, right, or $2.46 or something like that. On Patreon, I'm getting 92% of what people put in. You put in $5, I get like $4.80 or some shit. And it's just a better deal. It's just a better deal. So if you really do want to support me financially, absolutely hit up the Patreon. Patreon.com/SoopurKul. SoopurKul. Go on over there and do that. But honestly,
your boy Griffin already beat you to it, man. He's already got you linked up in the chat. Yeah, there it is.
But really the best way to support is to come by the channel. I'm doing all the stuff live, twitch.tv/SoopurKul, and become a part of the community. The community that we're building over there is loving and growing and supporting. It's full of people who are creative, people who love looking at art and listening to music. And it's just become this wonderful safe space to be yourself and to grow and to learn together. And I love that so much. And so if I'm going to make any recommendation in terms of support, just come over, be a part of the community, be a part of the channel, and I will love getting to know you.
I can attest to that. I had an issue with Ableton, and one member, I can't remember her name, Soup probably would know. Decided she was going to do all the research for me.
Katie,
wonderful.
You're talking about Katie Dearest. Yeah,
yep.
Katie Dearest. Katie is awesome.
She's
my gosh.
Awesome.
I can sing her praises all day long.
But
yeah, she was ready to jump on it.
But like Ernie said, hopefully you'll come back and we can talk more and go more down the rabbit hole.
Absolutely.
About how you're approaching Twitch and all that good
Let's
stuff.
talk content and content creation, baby. That's my game. That's my game. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. The answer is yes. I would love to hang out with y'all again.
Great.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Well, how is that, guys, for episode
What
20?
a great episode 20.
Episode
Special
20.
guest, super cool.
In the books, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we do it. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'll bring it to a close nice and easy like we always do. Check us out, joystickmaverick.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch under Joystick Maverick. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Joystick Maverick, except for Twitter, where we're Joystick Mav, because for some reason, Twitter doesn't like long names. Screw you. Screw you, Twitter. But I am Ernie Hawkins, at ErnieUXD on social. I'll be bopping around, always the same name everywhere I go. I've snagged it. It's mine. It's mine. So if you see it, it's me.
I'm Dominic Irvin, aka Hemophilia. And real quick, I just want to say what hemophilia is. It's a play on the word hemophilia, which is a blood disorder that I have. So that's why it's nothing else but that. Hemophilia.
I like that.
My buddy Mock T, who is a doctor, told me to take that name on PSN, and I did. So, hemophilia.
Do you like the name, or do you like that he suffers from that blood disorder?
I like name.
Because I'm up in the air. I'm up in the air about which one I like.
I said the nicest thing about you on the air.
I'm sorry, it does not. It does not wipe away all the
air.
ageism from the last 2 weeks.
I just love that you held out the word suffers and then paused for the rest of your sentence. He suffers.
Mike, where can we find you?
Oh, Mike, whatever.
It sounds like he's being sarcastic. But
No, but it's true. Mike, whatever. Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff.
There's an underscore in there somewhere.
Mike underscore. Yeah, sir. Yeah, you're probably right.
Don't even know my own Twitter handle. Got it.
Never find him.
Yeah,
Your
you're
new
old.
Twitter.
He's off the grid. Awesome. And then super cool.
Yeah,
Super
my
cool
name
everywhere.
is. Yeah, my name is Devin Henderson. You'll find me on Spotify under Devin Henderson, Devin. And then, yeah, I'm super cool everywhere at SoopurKul, SoopurKul.
I'm going to spell it correctly. I'm so mad. I spelled that right every single place except for the flippin' name tag that's been on the stream the whole time. But you know what? I'll get it right next time.
No,
I got a capital K in there,
spell.
too. I went through everything. We had like 19 assets before every episode, and I was like, capital K. It's a 2 U's. No E, no E. Yeah, I nailed it. I effing nailed it. All right. Well, that brings us to a close. Episode 20 in the bag. Thank you for joining us, Super Cool. You are super cool.
Of course.
This has been super fun.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.